Hello, this is session 6 of the seasonal arc. I'm Clint, and with me today is...
David. I play Karnan, the human warrior. Fighter.
There you go. That's the name of the class.
I am Kevin. I play the fighter / monk, Domino.
I'm Chase. I play Kanathar, the human fighter.
I'm Andrew. I play Uriel, who is a human fighter.
And I'm Kyle. I play Cassius, the human rogue ranger.
Alright, who wants to do the recap from last time?
Karnan was absent.
Carmen can do it.
I can do it. Alright, so you guys went to the Millen City of Slaves with Herber and Kandara, Metris, and Kandara's cousins. Herber, the first real lead he developed on the finding the artifacts of the gods was the Chalice of Balance. It was in Millen, and that was actually the original quest he hired you guys to go on before you decided, well, let's save the world bullshit. It was with a guy named Gezret Ben-Hun, a Goliath enforcer for the leader of the city, Overlord Gralstaff. So you guys met with him pretty easily. He was kind of a rough and tumble character. Looked a lot like maybe he was very, very sick at one point. Had a lot of tumors and growths on his body. A lot of saggy fat and that sort of thing. He looked like a guy who had once been very, very strong and had lost a lot of weight and gotten fat and lost a lot of weight and then gotten sick and that sort of thing. He did say that he had the chalice. He confirmed that the chalice works. He said he drank from it once about a decade ago, and it stopped all his tumors from growing all over the place. He was willing to sell it. Herber offered 20 grand in gold for it. Gezret Ben-Hun came back with 25, and didn't really give you a lot of opportunity to argue with him, and kind of sent you guys off to a bank to get the funds. You came out of the bank. You found city guards in the employ of Gezret Ben-Hun waiting for you outside of the bank. Gezret Ben-Hun later showed up and explained that he would be taking the money and giving you guys the chalice, and he would be taking Herber, who was with you at the time. But you guys would be doing something for him first, because Ardar Hargroove, Kandar's father, tried to get him to kill you guys and capture Kandara, and he was like, fuck that, I'm just gonna make their life trouble, and Hargroove can go fuck off. You guys ended up going into the sewers of Millen, looking for one of Gezret Ben-Hun's employees that had made off with some studs and some cash. You ended up wandering for hours underground through collapsed tunnels, finding your way to a waterway that looked like it was a waste sewage outlet in the city. You found a changer sitting in the sewage, converting it to fresh water. Eventually this path led to the cisterns of the city, where you found a kind of albino looking dragon type creature, very crocodile looking breed. You guys kind of kicked its ass in the first round, but then it bit Cassius and started dragging him underwater. Domhnall decided maybe I should stop that and threw a fireball at it. A whole bunch of steam and evaporation, and at one point Cassius dropped to 0 hit points and floated up to the top, and the gator was like, fuck that, I'm out of here. Sewer dragon. Still doing it. Sewer dragon. Not a gator.
He did say he used the stats from a dire crocodile.
I did use a dire crocodile stats.
Which is still
That doesn't mean
different than
anything.
an alligator.
With some augmentation.
If
to
I
fit
learned
with
anything
dragons.
from Steve Irwin, it is still different than an alligator.
So after that, you guys kind of dragged yourself up out of the sewers, found Gezret Ben-Hun. He sent Herber back to the Pouncing Palomino hours ago with the chalice, and you gave him the studs that you had recovered from the body of his employee, and you met up with your party, and they had the chalice, and Herber was all like, we gotta test it now, and Cassius was like, we gotta test it now, and Domhnall was like, maybe we should get out of the city first, because, you know, maybe we should. It seems like a good idea to me. And Metris was like, yeah, we should probably get out of the city, and Kandara was like, yeah, we should probably get out of the city. So you guys got out of the city.
I don't understand why.
Because we just, have obtained one of the most powerful artifacts in the known world, and
I just wanted to be near first aid.
Yes. So you guys got out of the city and you started playing around with the chalice.
but did you die? Oh, we're about to find out.
No, you did not die. It got very, very uncomfortable.
A lot.
It got a lot uncomfortable. But that was, you left Millen on the 11th of 12th month, 4032 DOS. It is now the 12th of 12th month, 4032 DOS. And this is where we'll start. Everyone's ready? So, it is the 12th of 12th month, 4032 DOS. You guys are about a day's travel southwest of Millen. You're heading towards the Pillars of Iron, where Herber believes you will find a blade of bone and flame among the Nithnet tribe of Goliath that live in that area. He told you guys a story of records that indicated that someone with a spear of black, spear with a haft of black ash and a blade as sharp and bright as the sun, attacking a Goliath tribe there. The Goliath tribe there, the Nithnet, survived, and there are no other tales of this blade, so he's assuming that this blade is still with the Nithnet tribe in the Pillars of Iron, because this whole thing happened hundreds of years ago, and the Nithnet are still there, so they must have some claim to power, Normally desert tribes come and go, and they don't have longevity lasting 2 centuries. As discussed during the RPs, or during the RP between the sessions, you put around with the Chalice of Balance and discovered a few things. You discovered that when you drink liquid from it, or eat food directly from it, and the liquid doesn't have to be normal, like it doesn't have to be water or wine, it could be any liquid, it heals you of poisons and the poison condition. If you're not poisoned, it removes a disease. If you're not suffering from a disease, it heals you 1d6 hit points. If you're at full hit points, it gives you 1d6 temporary hit points. These temporary hit points stack with other temporary hit points from the chalice, and they last about an hour or until you're damaged enough to go through them. These effects, as far as you experimented, these effects only occur if the liquid or food from the chalice is ingested. Like Cassius dumped the chalice over his head and it didn't really do anything except when he swallowed it.
We did not try poisoning the liquid and drinking the poisoned liquid.
And you guys did not try cutting yourself and pouring it onto or submerging your injured limb in it.
This is kind of meta, but I did ask Clint, no, you cannot torture a creature with it by holding their head under there. They can still drown.
Yeah. The chalice operates in a very specific way that does not transmit oxygen to you.
That's fair.
So if you cannot breathe, you cannot oxygenate your blood, and you will still die.
That seems similar to some other liquid that can, reside in chalice-shaped objects.
Oh, oxygen.
What?
Thermite reaction. Thanks.
Water normally drowns you. Thanks.
Oh, that's true. Yes. I was like, what?
It was a roundabout way of saying you drown in water.
That makes sense.
I think.
Unless
I've
you
never
have
tried it.
I haven't tried it. That's correct.
Unless you guys want to fuck around with the chalice anymore, the assumption is that you continue heading towards the Pillars of Iron.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the thing.
Oh, and it is about 200 miles from Millen to the base of the Pillars of Iron. So there's that to consider. Wait, or is it 400 miles? It's 200 or 400 miles, I forget. It's a lot of miles.
To where? The
The Pillars of Iron.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Probably
400.
in there.
Yep. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, it is 400.
Oh, and we did have something else that Kevin added.
What?
Kevin made something.
Oh yeah, that map. Kevin made a better looking representation of the map.
The map.
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually probably a good idea. I can pull
quick math to make sure my calculations on when you get to the Pillars of Iron were accurate.
Oops. Map,
Stop using math to know things, Chase.
the map, the map, the map, the map.
So, yes, that is the fancy map that Kevin made.
Hey, thanks, Kevin.
It's pretty neat. What did you use to make that again? I forget.
Is a website called incarnate.com. Spelled but like ink. INKARNATE.com. Not sponsored, but we'd like to be.
Oh, the dreams. The dreams we have. So, you guys continue heading southwest for the Pillars of Iron. Wait. Yes.
Southwest.
It is now the 18th, 12th month, 4032 DOS. It's about noon. No, that's not what I need.
There's
Good.
lights.
Let me rephrase that.
There, I think.
It is the 22nd
Lights
of
are
12th month, 4032 DOS.
I think.
It's about 6 in the evening. The past few days have been pretty uneventful. Your party was attacked by some half-starved, definitely rabid Crowsank, but you guys took care of that. It wasn't a big deal. Nobody got bitter clawed, so you're all safe from rabies and that sort of thing. You are somewhere in square S26. You have many, many miles left to go to reach the Pillars of Iron. The terrain around you is brown and sun-scorched and dead. The air is still and dry as it always is. You're sweaty and tired, and you've been walking forever. About 200 miles to the north. Where is? I forget where S26 is. Anyway, it's about you're looking about 200 miles north is the mountainous volcanic terrain around the Font of Shadows. It's obviously all very small on the horizon due to the distance and that sort of thing, but you can just kind of barely make it out. By your estimates, you're at the halfway point in your journey. You got about 200 more miles to go until you reach the Pillars of Iron. And you're about 200 miles from Millen, so you're kind of at the halfway point. You're, what is it, 6 in the evening? You travel for a couple more hours, and it's approaching 10 in the evening. The sun's starting to set. The heat is lessening by a few degrees at a time, moving from the brutal 120 degrees down to the more comfortable 100 and then 90, as night begins to fall. And it's not fallen yet, it's starting to approach dusk and that sort of thing. True sunset happens around like 11 o'clock at night, so you're very close to that point, with it being 10 in the evening. As Herbert sighs and says, "Ah, a breeze, how refreshing," you all begin to feel the faintest of breezes on your faces. Just like a little bit of, just real faint, real weak, no strength to it.
Definitely not gonna build up.
Herbert is oblivious to what this means, but the rest of you are desert-born, and some of you have become intimately familiar with razor storms in your life.
Oh, fuck.
Perception check made on your behalf reveals a very, very faint tremor in the ground. Like you almost missed it because it's so faint this far from the Font of Shadows, and like you have wagons and plotting Crowsank and stuff.
This is normal.
Cassius, Karnan, Domhnall, Canathar, and Uriel, you're all very familiar with razor storms.
Yep.
You look to the northwest, the volcanic area around the Font of Shadows, and sure enough, specifically in square P20, there it is, massive, rapidly expanding black clouds of smoke and volcanic nastiness that you know are filled with thousands of razor-sharp splinters of stone.
Bad thing.
12 twice, interesting. Kandara, her cousins, and Metris are all watching it, and you hear Kandara's cousin Akka say, "Shit, that's a fucking big one." Karnan, Cassius, Domhnall, Canathar, and Uriel, based on your past experience, I don't know why I'm saying it, you guys are the only ones here. Based on all of your past experience with razor storms, you would agree that yes, this is in fact a big one. If you any of you guys who want to, give me a survival or nature check, one or the other.
11 to survival. 11 to survival.
Okay.
It wasn't a good roll. It's not even.
10.
And this is the end of the campaign.
6.
What was that?
15 to survival.
Well, thank goodness for casting this.
Said that more times than I can count.
You're looking at it and you know this can change. This can change, but it seems like the Razor Storm is about as big as they get.
Oh,
But at least it's moving east towards Millen. Like we're right in a straight line towards Millen at this point. So just to step out of the game for a moment, the way Razor Storms work is that they come in 4 tiers of strength. Every day they travel about 50 miles. I roll on some random charts determining direction, how big they are, whether they lose size, if they do a 180, if they do a 360 or a 90-degree turn, however they turn. And that happens every day until they eventually dissipate into nothing. So that's kind of how that goes. Luckily, over the next 7 days, you guys keep traveling southwest towards the Pillars of Iron. But you keep an eye on the Razor Storm. You know it's there. You can, the wind picks up just a hair, another hair, But for the first couple days, it travels just like directly east. And then on like the 4th or 5th day, it kind of arcs towards the south. And then it does kind of a U shape around the Pillars of Iron until it just kind of dissipates. So it's never really any threat. Which is unfortunate because I really wanted to have you guys suffer through a Razor Storm. But it's a Razor Storm and you take them seriously. You guys have all suffered, pretty much all suffered tragedy at the hands of Razor Storms.
Yep.
So it's not something you take lightly. It never got close enough to threaten you, but you were prepared. You were ready to dive into the wagons and protect the Crow Sank and that sort of thing. But this time, nothing happened.
That's lucky.
I wanted to text you, Kevin, and be like, you just got so fucking lucky when I was writing the scenario. So it
That
is
was another
now.
thing we were going to look into was Crowsank armor.
Oh, you guys have big blankets of leather, backed by plates of metal and chitin and that sort of thing that. Like that's a pretty common thing. Like Crowsank don't fit in wagons, so people have developed these it'd be like barding, I guess, but looser. It's not like armor. It's just like a big.
That stuff that they throw over their cars to protect from hailstorms.
Yeah. It's basically just here's a blanket that's made out of metal. and it's not like everything with Razor Storms. It's not 100%. Plenty of Crowsank and other beasts of burden die in Razor Storms, even with protection. It's just it's something that's been developed.
As proven by Kendara.
Yeah, they are nice.
So it's the second of first month, 4,033 DOS. You guys have continued traveling southwest towards the Pillars. Over the next 5 days or so, you can kind of see them start to resolve into separate shapes on the horizon. At first they were just this big column of just this big blocky shape on the horizon, but they're starting to resolve into the individual pillars. You're in square W22, if that matters. Basically at the foot of the easternmost pillar, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. There are 6 pillars, and while you're not metallurgists, they look very similar to iron. The brown, cracked ground of the deep desert on the pillars has become kind of a metallic gray color. It's kind of the ground is there, but it's like someone took a whetstone to a blade everywhere. It's just metal shavings everywhere, ground metal.
so it's like powdered metal.
What's that?
Like powdered metal.
Yeah, powdered metal, just all over the place. It's unusual.
So it's unrusted iron though.
Unrusted iron,
Okay.
untouched by the elements, which is really weird,
Yes, it is.
but perfectly normal.
Love it.
You're in square W 22. The 6 pillars all seem to be kind of a uniform shape. They're each basically 150 feet to a side, kind of rising into the air as cubes. You okay? Everything under control? Okay. All the pillars except for the westmost one have jagged, broken tops. The westmost one is the tallest. It rises maybe half a mile into the air, and the others kind of are shorter. The eastmost one, the one directly south of you, is maybe 500 feet in the air.
What's at the top of the westmost one if it doesn't have like a jagged top?
You can't tell from here.
Okay.
It's too much elevation.
Does it look like it's just flat then?
Yeah.
You should climb it, Canathar.
It's funny you should say that.
I'm
Foreshadowing.
Dom was kind of in awe. This is one of the. I mean, he's been all over Yafka, and this is one of the things he actually has.
Is there a glowing gem in a cage on top of one of these in the dragon?
No, fuck off. That would have been good, though. That would have been a good Minecraft reference. Why did I not think of that? You should have fought the dragon here.
I thought that's where this was going when you said Pillars of Iron. I'm like, it's the end. This is where we die.
This is where we die. But aside from that very tall one that's about a half mile tall, the others are all like jagged and pointy, and you can tell they're uneven. And looking up at them, you can see like the faint, like you can see like planks between them. But they're all like but they're not like next to each other. They're like several hundred feet apart, you know. There's maybe a mile between the eastmost one and the westmost one, you know. But between and like there's not a plank running between those two, but all the other ones have like these big wide planks of something like running across from them.
So, in my observation, would I believe that these pillars are broken off, or are they just jagged?
They look broken off.
Okay.
Like there was something there.
So
like,
they might have been
like they were all as tall as
a mile tall.
Yeah, that is your suspicion that they were all a mile tall, and at some point, some of them were broken off to varying degrees.
Does the broken area look weathered?
No.
Are there scattered remnants of broken pillars on the ground?
There isn't any, aside from the metal shavings, there isn't any debris on the ground that would indicate that, hey, that fell off there. You know.
Can I see like an ornate base of these pillars?
Nope, they just bury right into the sand.
So,
or the dirt,
there's
excuse me.
probably a base of them. They're probably just buried in sand.
And to continue with looking at the tops, there's no visible support structure for these planks. Like it's not like a bridge with like supports or like a suspension bridge or anything like that. It's just like big long planks laid between the towers with no break. Looking at the as you draw closer, you notice a couple more things. At the base of the tower, directly south of you, there is a definite tribal camp set up. Like maybe 100 or so people, tents everywhere. A herd of crow sank. Looks like maybe hyenas or dogs of some kind running around the camp. And it's not like all warriors. It's like Goliath that are family groups and stuff like that. You can see like the small shapes of children running around and that sort of thing. Did you have something?
No, I'm just thinking.
Okay.
I just made a connection in my head, and I want to see how that relates to your world. Like, I just all of a sudden pictured Goliaths as like essentially like gypsies.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right, or am I off base there?
Not really. This tribe just happens to be nomadic.
Okay,
Is all
all right.
that is.
That's all I wanted to share.
The other odd thing you notice as you draw closer about the towers themselves is that they are flat, but they have like ledges on them. But the ledges look like they're made of metal shavings that are all over the ground. It's weird. And they look like when you put metal shavings on a magnet, you guys know how they look when they attach to a magnet?
Yeah.
It looks exactly like that.
I pick up a handful of the stuff and I stick it on a pillar and see
You're
if
not
it's
close enough to a pillar yet.
Oh.
You will be. That's something you can test. Very
when
shortly.
we get close.
Grab
Put
a
a pin
pouch
in
of
it.
that.
Yep. I grab a pouch of it.
I'm
And
sure
if-
it'll be by the pillars though, but you can grab a pouch.
Yeah, like it's like this metal
Everywhere.
grit that's everywhere. It's as far as the eye can see.
Are we still on our wagon? Like just
Yeah, you guys are kind of
going
riding
that way?
towards the wagon.
What Donald would like to do is take his iron dagger and kind of lean over the wagon as it's going and poke it down into some of these shavings.
Okay.
And pick his dagger back up. Do the shavings stick to his dagger?
No.
Okay.
Are we going fast enough in the cart where there's like sparks flying up from?
Yes, totally. So, you guys immediately notice that you are heading towards the pillars, and there's this giant tribe of Goliath. Well, not a giant tribe.
Large.
A large tribe
Yeah.
of Goliath there. Do you guys keep like riding straight for them, or do you want to approach stealthily? Or they haven't quite noticed you yet, but if you keep going for much longer, that someone in the mass is going to see you.
You should probably send someone like an emissary or something. Not, you don't want to just roll up and go, hey, in a large group. I mean,
Agreed.
Okay.
Well, there's
this
100
is their
of them.
home right now, so.
100 of them and 5 of us, so they probably won't.
But if we just
us.
send like
It's
one
still
person,
hostile and it's a respect thing.
they're more likely to get captured. If we just send one person.
Send a few.
Something like a couple.
I'll
I'll go.
Donald says he'll stay back with the caravan.
If Turok were here, he might say, they'll probably let you approach. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal. I mean, as long as you guys don't act like dickheads.
Yeah, and he's technically with us, right? So they know we have.
Yeah.
We're not like Goliath.
He is a Goliath.
Yeah, Turok.
My friend's a Goliath. I
We
swear.
push Turok to the front.
He's just not here right now.
I have a Goliath
I'm
friend.
not racist. I have a Goliath friend.
One of my best friends is Goliath.
Whoa.
Ugh.
And there we go.
So,
Down.
you guys kind of approach, like, holding Turok out ahead of you as your sacrifice. Herber, who has been, face down in his book this entire time, like, he glanced up to look at the towers. Okay, that's neat. He looks up and says, oh, this must be the Nithnet tribe. And that is about when a group of a dozen individuals, like Goliath individuals, start, like, jogging your way. And it takes maybe half hour, 45 minutes for you, both parties, to meet up. Do you guys have weapons drawn, or are you just like, hey, we're peaceful?
No, I was just gonna say.
Yeah,
if,
no.
If
Okay.
it
Weapons
was drawn, I
visible.
My
Weapons
staff's
visible,
my staff's always
but
close,
not-
but
Yeah, definitely.
I mean
sword
they're
sheath with the
they're
side.
not rolling as weapons drawn, right?
As they approach closer, they don't appear to have any weapons. One or two of them have short bows, a couple have walking staffs, but no, like, weapons or armor, really.
Okay.
More like hunting tools.
They're
than
only like
weapons.
4 feet taller than us, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just rip us limb for limb without weapons. But,
So,
hey,
you guys kind of halt the wagons as you kind of approach. They kind of start to slow down, and
Yeah.
they're approaching
No,
cautiously.
we charge them.
Yeah, Crowsank. Let's
Donald
charge
with
them at a
the
stately.
We're playing chicken.
Let's charge them at a stately 1 mile an hour with our Crowsank and wagon.
we're gonna,
Like I said, there are about a dozen of them, male and female. They're all Goliath. They look to all be about middle-aged, maybe. Goliath age about the same rate as humans. They have similar lifespans and stuff, about 90 years. So it's in the same kind of signs. Goliath are hairless, so like they don't get white hair or lose their hair, but you can still tell from like wrinkles and age spots and that kind of stuff. Like all Goliath, they're each around 8 feet tall. They're completely hairless. They have that dark gray-black skin. Some of the older ones have like what we would call liver spots or age spots on them, where it's like slightly the shade the skin is like a slightly lighter shade of gray. And they all have that worn and scarred and hardened from desert living look that you guys are accustomed to. And they all look pretty lean. Lean is a relative term because they are Goliath and their biceps are about as thick as your thighs. None of them look armed aside from a quarterstaff or two and a couple of short bows. No armor really, they're just kind of wearing like tough clothing, that sort of thing. However, they all seem to have like heavy, scarred, calloused hands, and they're all barefoot and their feet are heavy and scarred and calloused. And they just have that kind of generally like low to the ground, like kind of like brawler stance with a low center of gravity and stuff. Like these are people who are accustomed to fighting like hand to hand with no weapons and like tearing people apart.
just there.
And your gut instincts tell you that these are definitely the warriors of the tribe. These guys are as good at punching and kicking as other people are at slashing and stabbing. One of them steps forward, and he's not the biggest or the smallest. He's kind of an average-looking Goliath. Kind of younger side of middle-aged. He steps forward and says, "Travelers, you're in the lands of the Nithnet. What's your business?" And he glances at Turok, and you all right, cousin? You along with these guys willingly? And Turok, as a Goliath, would know that cousin is kind of a I don't hate you term of address for other Goliath. The Goliath population is about 10% of the total population of Yafka, and which isn't quite much. So they all kind of refer to each other as cousin as kind of a polite form of address. But Tarak is like, yeah, I'm here. These are my friends, and someone else should talk to you because I'm not here right now. So he says, "What's your business in the lands of the Nithnet?"
Should we come out right out and say it?
I think so.
We're here seeking an artifact that, or at least information on an artifact that we last known place was with your tribe.
He kind of gets a smirk on his face and he says, "What artifact you looking for?"
One of the swords of bone and flame.
You guys are looking for Pop Spear.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, the blade of bone and flame and shit. Big burning spear. Secret of the Nithnet tribe's strength and whatnot. Whatever. Come on. We'll sit and chat. Maybe he'll tell you where you left it. Maybe not. Come on. You're welcome. Don't kill anyone. Don't do stupid shit. He starts kind of walking back towards the camp.
Domino mentions that he appreciates the hospitality.
Yeah, whatever. like he's not rude, like whatever, but he's like, yeah, come on, let's just pick this up. I got shit I want to do.
I'm very nervous around this many Goliath. Not like scared, but I'm purposefully mimicking every action that I see like various Goliaths doing. If I see someone like walking in certain steps, I'm trying to step in those footprints as best I can.
You're like jumping.
Domino's very like, alright, what's going on?
So this group of a dozen Goliath escort you into the camp, and it's a tribe. You know, it's dozens and dozens of collapsible tents and wagons and such. It's about 100 or so members. Maybe 70 of them are adults. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little less. It's full of rambling children running around screaming like most children do. There's a couple packs of like semi-domesticated hyenas running around. There's a small herd of draft crowsank, and people are just going around doing their thing. People are cooking, they're cleaning, they're tanning leather and that kind of stuff. It's just a camp. They've clearly been here for years and years and years. And you see signs of like hastily taking down protections from razor storms. So they, even this far away, they were aware of the razor storm and were prepared to take cover if they needed to. As you move through the camp, and you can kind of see that you're heading towards the base of the shortest tower. That's kind of the center of this camp. The 11 of the Goliath kind of split off and go to wherever they're going, and you guys end up following this first speaker guy. And he, as you're walking, identifies himself as Banda of the Nithnet. He leads your group to an area where like wagons and crowsank are loitering around and stuff, and says, just leave your wagons and stuff here. He'll be fine. We don't need nothing you have bad enough for it to be worth burning you, so just let your stuff rest easy. Do you guys want anyone to stay with the wagons? And if
I was just gonna say, let's suggest maybe some of the cousins stay with it.
Okay. Alright. The cousins agree to stay with the wagons, and you guys want Kandara and Metris and Herbert with you?
Is this a time where we should have probably had discussed where we've got the chalice, or is it just inside a wagon?
Probably just inside a wagon.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you want to retcon it, like, and say that it's in a wagon under an empty barrel or something, or hidden.
Have
like,
it in as best as we could call a safe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe you guys have an empty water barrel that it's inside, or an empty crate, and there's like some stuff stacked on top of it. It's not out, and obviously, like, someone doesn't have to look their head in and grab it. You know, they're gonna have to dig around for a couple out.
I assume that. I just was thinking about it might come up in the future. I don't think here, but
I honestly feel like it's probably pretty safe on its own too, considering like unless you know what it is.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a piece of junk, right?
Yeah, it looks like a lumpy piece of junk, except for the giant uncut sapphires in it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, never mind. Scratch that.
You guys want to pull them out?
No. Unless it looks like they're removable and replaceable, no.
The whole thing is really shittily made. You could just, you could just yank them out basically with your bare hands.
Canathar.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, are they meant to be removed? Or
No, they're not meant to remove.
No, I think there's.
But they could easily be removed.
Yeah, I think we leave them in the chalice.
Like you think if you drop the chalice, they will fall out if any pressure whatsoever is put on them.
Well, that's good now.
Don't
It is
drop
good to
the
know.
chalice.
Can't use it as a weapon.
I mean, you could. It's really fucking heavy. It's solid silver and it's this big.
That looks like something.
That's a thing you said.
That's not something that looks like nothing if it's this big.
He described it. It looks kind of like half of a very poorly made like skull with like various growths and stuff on it, and then the handle looks like it was someone took cooling silver and went for the stem.
Yeah, the goblet, the cup portion of it is bigger than a Goliath's head. It's huge.
So we're talking like a gallon
Like the
of
breaker's
liquid.
head.
Gallon of liquid type thing.
like,
The size of that red bucket.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the red bucket.
We talked about this last time.
That came up.
So a gallon of
Deja vu.
do.
So the 11 other Goliaths split off, and you're left with Banda, and he takes you to like the actual base of the shortest tower. And there's a little camp, and then a big, huge, like multi-room tent set up. There's like a fire pit that's cold right now, and there's a bunch of like camp chairs set up around it, and they're like canvas chairs or wooden stools and that sort of thing. And you kind of go ahead and sit down. And once you're all, are you all like taking? Is everyone sitting down and resting and kind of like, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah.
He said, Banda kind of plops down in his chair, and he digs around in a pouch from it and produces a wine skin and just like sucks down a gallon of wine and wipes his mouth and says, Pop-Pop's old as fucking dirt. He's napping right now. When he wakes up and whatnot, I'll let you talk to him. What do you need his spear for? He ain't had it in a decade or so. He never said to me what he did with it, but before he died, my pa said Pop-Pop climbed up on one of the towers and just chucked out in the middle of the fucking desert, and then came back down. Pop-Pop was always going on about how the spear made us fucking weak, and we relied on it too much, and maybe just lazy and too reliant on blades of bone and flame to keep our enemies away. So I guess he got rid of it one day and told the elders of the tribe to fuck off and start teaching people how to fight.
We're looking, our friend here, Herbert, and I put a hand on his shoulder and I says,
Herbert's clearly like, wow, there are a lot of Goliath.
he's,
like he's never been around so many Goliath in his life, and you're all very familiar with
Flex the wing.
Herbert being very awkward in social interactions and around large groups of people, and just generally kind of being a useless scholar most of the time. So he's not acting abnormal.
he's got a bucket list of sorts that he wants to get some of these artifacts together before he departs this world, and he wants to leave this on for future generations.
Do you think this guy knows a bucket list?
Well,
I don't think so.
well, whatever equivalent wineskin list.
Wineskin list, okay. Okay.
Chalice list.
And Banda kind of sucks on the wine some more, and he looks at Herbert and, what do you want to collect all the artifacts for? And Herbert's kind of like, well, I am a scholar of many years, and I would love to leave the people of Yofka and the museums there with the artifacts could be these objects of history of the gods, and the death of seasons could be viewed by all of us for generations to come. And Banda's kind of like, you just want to put it in a box? And Herbert's like, well, not a box. It would be in a display at a museum, very secure and easily viewed by all the people of Yofka for generations to come. And Banda says, all right. I guess.
It could tell the story of your people.
Yeah.
Ain't our fucking spear. We stole it from the guys that tried to kill us, I guess. We don't even know what their name was. I think
You
it
could
was,
argue it's a part of your history, though, no?
I mean, not for the last decade or so.
Fair enough.
History goes back further than a decade.
Thank you, Kenneth.
That's
You know,
what history
If you're gonna be all
means.
fucking logical about history going back further than a decade, then
How I pictured a Goliath interaction was going to go. This is very interesting.
so
What's his name again? I'm sorry.
Banda.
Banda. Okay.
Panda.
Big panda.
Big panda.
Banda.
Banda.
Sexual harassment.
So would your tribe like to have possession of the spear again, or do you not care?
I don't think they do.
I mean,
There are probably some people who do, but the elders.
some of us probably, but ain't nobody gonna tell Pop you can't have. Nobody's gonna argue with Pop about whether or not we use the spear. I think like my dad, he really wanted to get the spear back and was always sending people out into the desert and fighting flesh eaters and shit to dig around where Pop supposedly threw it, but Pop seemed to think that was really stupid, and Pop.
Did he explicitly forbid it?
Are flesh eaters the same as husks?
You guys would know the term flesh eater as referring to the crazy albino cannibal tribes of humans that live
Okay.
in like this portion of the desert.
Okay.
No, try. No, I'm just kidding.
Banda says, well, I mean, Pop's old, but nobody likes to go against him because he can still.
Lay it down.
He's spry. He's really fucking spry for his age.
Dumbo says, I need to meet this guy.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, my dad, he really wanted to find it, but after he died and a bunch of his cronies died, I don't think anyone's really making a big case for going out in the desert and tracking down Pop's fucking spear.
Okay.
I mean, if Pop's willing to tell you where it is, I don't think anyone's gonna argue with him about it.
Okay. Perfect.
So a couple hours pass. It's now around 8 in the evening, I think.
Still second.
Yeah, it's still the
First
second of first month. Do you guys talk any more with him? Ask him any questions, anything? Discuss anything amongst yourselves or anything in the past couple hours, or just kind of chilling? There's food. Like he breaks out a haunch of meat and like kind of lays it out on a plate over the fire and takes a knife and, you know, if you guys want to partake of the haunch of meat, he offers it. And there's wine and there's water and stuff, so it's not like he's being a poor host or anything.
Domino politely accepts all these.
It's Crosank. It's not seasoned like Kandara would make it or anything. It's kind of
Okay, so
I
Crosank is a
still-
thing that people do.
yeah.
I was a little
Crosank are
confused.
kind of like cow.
Okay.
They're
How's
lizard cows.
Kandara reacting among all this? Like,
She doesn't really have much to say. She's kind of letting you guys take the lead. Are you looking for any sort of specific reaction on her
no,
part?
I
or-
just making sure that she's not like looks uneasy or.
No, she and Metros are pretty chill. They're accustomed to desert living and interacting with different tribes and stuff, so they're not like put off by Banda's mannerisms like
Okay.
Karnan is or anything like that. They're just hanging out. They take some water and a little bit of the haunch of Crosank.
So I'd like to ask Herbert if, since it's been a decade since the spear has been cast out, I think it's not out of the realm to assume that it possibly could be buried in the sand. Do we have any way of locating the spear that you know of if it's buried under feet of sand?
Isn't that why we're asking?
Well, the first-
he knows what
Herbert-
direction he threw it. He's not going to know exactly where it landed.
It's currently spinning around in a razor storm.
Yeah, that's
If it's magical, doesn't Herbert have detect magic? We
That's why I'm
can use
asking
Herbert as
Herbert.
a.
That's why I'm asking
He does
Herbert.
have the detect magic stud. Herbert says, well, I mean, it's a function of velocity and distance and that sort of thing.
Speak plainly,
if we
friend.
can find the elevation that Pop was at when he threw the spear, we could get a general area using mathematics to figure out where it ended up if we get a direction. There's no guarantee that it would still be there or that it would not be buried under something. Who knows? I mean, depending on what it hit, maybe it's under several feet of ground now. And again, this isn't a place where sandstorms happen, so stuff that gets dropped in the desert tends to stay very visible unless something falls on top of it.
Okay.
But Herbert lists a whole bunch of calculations and mathematical principles that would allow him to figure out the trajectory of the spear when thrown from a specific height in a specific direction at a certain velocity.
So you're confident you can locate it if
let's
you know
hear
the
'em.
direction.
What
No,
are these
fuck
equations?
you. You can do it if you want.
Well, I don't know the gravity on this planet. I don't know if air resistance is much stronger. We'll just let it go.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Chase.
Oh, I
I'm
doubt
sorry,
you
what was that?
So he's confident he can locate it if he knows the direction.
It's
Yeah, at least get a general
Like
idea.
if Pop-Up's like somewhat smart, I doubt he would have thrown it. Like he just said he threw it to stop
I don't know.
people
It
from
sounds like a
looking for
tribe.
it.
It sounds like a tribe thing to do, though.
Well, no, he's apparently like one of the smartest guys in the
Maybe
village.
he
Like
left
even the
it on
elders
top
don't
of
want to
the
go around him.
Uriel might be onto something.
He
I
must-
guarantee
We're not talking
it.
in private. Is that good?
Yeah.
Uriel might be onto something. I mean,
He would have hidden
because
it somewhere not too
someone
far
else
off.
would have found it then. He agreed that maybe it made the tribe weak in other manner, but
Yeah, but you wouldn't
he
want to
still
get
wouldn't want to get it in the enemy tribe's hand, or
or not
any-
know where it
could've
is in
left it
case he
on top
needs
of a
something like
pillar.
that.
I agree with this, but do you think that he's hiding it like close to him, like it's still in his possession, or do you
No.
think he hid it out in the work?
He could have left it up on the pillar. That he
They're
That's
was
what I
nomads.
assume on a pillar or something.
They're nomads. Things are getting packed and unpacked and stuff constantly. I
So-
don't think it's anywhere in the vicinity of the camp. He might have it in a specific spot stashed somewhere.
Do we see any way that you could actually climb one of these pillars?
It would be very difficult.
So
Get
he
chained.
the I don't remember his name. Sorry. He stated that he threw it from the top of the pillar.
Yeah, Bandit said that Pop-Up threw it from the top of the pillars. Like, looking at the pillars up very close now, you can see that the the protrusions of the metal shavings look like ledges. And
Diameter. What are we talking?
what do you mean? Diameter of the tower?
Of the pillars.
The pillars, about 150 feet to a side.
Are they squares or circles?
Squares.
Oh, I was thinking circles. Okay.
I was
I
thinking,
didn't have squares on my
I was
list.
thinking
It's not pretty
hexagons.
good.
So
No,
you're
it's
all
good.
you're all
I
sitting
thought-
there and talking,
I
and you're
thought
looking
circles.
at the pillar,
Needs
and you
circles.
see on the sides of the pillar, you see those like ledges of metal shavings, and you also see little like not little, but like maybe circlets of metal like this big, like pressed against the side of the pillar, just sitting there, like 10 feet high, 20 feet high, 100 feet high, like kind of almost like you could run a rope through them and ascend as like a climbing rope.
Are we
Have
close enough
seen
to a
any
pillar by now?
rock climbing businesses around these pillars?
No.
Are we close enough to a pillar?
Yes.
I pick up the pouch of metal shavings, and I hold it up to the pillar to see if
How
it's
close do you get?
touching distance.
When you get about a half inch from the pillar, the metal shavings go,
Okay.
and they just stay there.
So
Can you pull them off?
Does he try?
Yeah, I try it. Can I scrape them off, or
Are you?
Are they
wearing
still in the
gloves?
pouch?
Are they in the pouch, or are they? Just
they're in the
like-
pouch.
Okay. How thick is the pouch? Is it less than half an inch?
I would say less than half an inch.
Okay. You go to grab the pouch, and as hard as you pull, you cannot get it to go off. Like
Does it like skid around like?
no, it doesn't skid at all.
Okay.
Like it just,
can I make a strength check to assist him?
by all means.
Whatever the thickness of like a
20?
standard like crow's-neck leather bag would be.
Okay.
Well, do you want to say athletics?
Strength.
Strength.
Straight
Okay,
strength.
20.
Okay. So Cassius is gripping, and then Karnan comes on with his hands, and they're both kind of nothing. Doesn't move. Doesn't skitter around. Just stays. Eventually, the bag tears.
Do we know what magnets are?
Magnetism is a force that has been identified. Yes.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So, do these
There's a very real reason why compasses are not used at all to traverse the desert.
because of magnets.
The pillars of iron.
No, you could find the pillars of iron.
You could always find the pillars of iron.
I mean, you could just say that's north then.
So do these look more like
Magnetic.
Yeah.
bunch
still
of
use
bunch of
compasses.
metal was attracted to these pillars and like
Not at all. It's just
they're
like,
just
they-
magnetic.
to your layman's eyes, unless any of you have a background in smithing or metallurgy or anything, they look like raw iron,
Okay,
But unrusted.
but unrusted
that's
and
not a
perfectly
thing.
square in shape, with no marks of like time whatsoever. like
Except being cracked off.
except some of them being cracked off. And the edges are not like rounded at all; they are crisp 90-degree angles.
Okay.
Not like the tops, but like the sides, like the corners of the sides.
Right.
Those are straight, crisp 90-degree angles.
The angles that are meant to be angles are perfect.
Yes.
Well,
Touch my finger to one of them. Like, is it sharp?
It's just a corner. I mean, if you push your hand against it, eventually
gotta
it will
be
break
great.
skin.
Do they look like normal iron, or or are they just called the pillars of iron?
Like wrought iron.
Yeah, they look like raw iron.
Okay.
Not rod.
To your layman's eyes, they look like raw iron.
Okay.
do,
Fucking magnets, how do they
do
work?
I have any salt water in my possession?
No.
3 days travel south, and you might.
Oh, it's right on the coast.
Yeah, you're not too far from the coast.
Oh, yeah.
That probably has mean alligator things.
Herber is completely fascinated by this playing with magnetism, by the way. He's not really jotting it down with notes, but he's observing interest. Eventually, unless you guys want to continue playing with the pillars of iron.
So, we can't even move it around like his bag.
Yeah,
Right.
it eventually from the force you're exerting on it, the leather tears.
We couldn't even pull it
Can
to
I-
the side.
No.
Can I take?
It's a strong magnet.
I'm gonna take whatever piece of metal I have. We'll say a
You
crowbar.
wear metal armor, right?
Likely.
Don't touch the pillar.
I have a
Chain
crowbar in my
It's
kit.
fair that your armor wouldn't have got that close to the pillar. He said a half an inch, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably close.
I stick a crowbar to it, like as high as I can, and I try to hang from it. Like, if I stick it on the end
you're
there,
putting a crowbar on the.
just sticking it on it, and then I want to see if I can like hang from it, like weight wise.
Okay. I guess like if we're talking about a regular claw
Like if it's
crowbar that
if it's
has
hooked
like
like that,
yeah.
I want to stick the claw to the pillar.
Okay.
So like if there's a pillar, I want to stick the claw there.
So like it doesn't magnetize to just the bare edge.
Oh,
Like
I cantilever it.
It gets a flat point, and then you hang yourself up, and it doesn't shift at all.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Probably magic.
Now you have one less crowbar.
Yes.
I'm not a
Is
strength
there
character.
just
It's
shit
in my thieves
stuck
kit. I don't
everywhere
need
to
it.
these on the
Not
bottom?
really. Not really.
Cool, we're defacing natural landmarks.
They might know how to get it
I
out.
made them a coat rack.
True.
You can see that there's a
They
very,
won't need that if we
you
wait
can
to
see
God
that
of
there's a
Winter.
very clear like foot gap around the towers of where the metal shavings are, and like they've clearly gone to the effort of brushing away like the metal shavings from the bases of the pillars. It's kind of like a little Zen garden.
Yeah, so
Kinda.
we're definitely defacing these. We need to stop.
I agree.
So, is there anything attached to the pillars other than the shit that we just threw on?
Those little circles of metal,
Yep.
and then just the ledges and protrusions of metal shavings,
And the defacements that we made.
and the defacements that you made.
Naturally.
They
Which,
might know
which
how to-
Banda watched and kind of smiled while you guys were doing that, and didn't really make any comments.
So we didn't get angry.
We could have just asked them.
Yeah, just asked.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Donald's never been here. He's genuinely interested.
I'm childish and curious by nature.
You want to ask him, do you know any way to get, objects off here once they're attached, off the pillars?
He takes a swig of wine and he says, "Tribe secret." Glug glug glug.
Seems fitting. Seems fitting. So there is a way.
There's
So
a
that's good.
there's a switch somewhere and it turns the electromagnetic on. Everything falls down.
Yeah. Huh.
Anything else you guys want to do? Play with the towers?
Just wait for Pawpaw to
Someone-
wake up.
Domino's back.
Someone shove
sitting down,
someone
rubbing
shove
his
Karnan.
knees.
Shove Karnan into the pillars. The person that shoves Karnan into the pillars gets 2 levels.
I still love it.
I don't have the strength to shove Carmen.
Levels? What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean, Chase. Don't play dumb. All right.
I'm not playing dumb. I'm
I
in
know.
Character.
Put you upside down and I'll straighten your back out. Feel better.
So you are playing.
It is true.
Oh.
Make
Do I
fun
get
of
a-
the
do I
10
get a
intelligence
reaction
score
resist?
guy.
Resist being pushed in.
Yes, if you were.
Pretty strong.
How about we take a break?
I'm pretty strong. Pretty hard to push Pokemon nerd.
And we're back. And Dave's a Pokemon nerd.
Karnan's a Pokemon.
Karnan is a Pokemon nerd.
Pokemon. Pokemon. I don't know what a Pokemon is, but
Gotta control them all, Pokemon.
Erbigerd is Perkinern.
Chin Pokemon.
Okay, that's enough of that, guys.
This is D&D.
and we just went total.
So a couple hours pass. You guys play with the pillars,
Played my pillar.
as young boys do when confronted with something tall and hard.
Woo!
Eventually, you hear some bellowing from inside the large tent. Bandit dozed off a little ago, and suddenly, no, all right, I'm back in a minute. Kind of looks around, and hearing Pop bellowing inside the tent, he kind of rolls out of his camp chair and stumbles off to see where the commotion is. Shortly after that, he wanders back outside and says, "All right, Pop is up. He'll talk to you guys. Go ahead. I'll be out here if you need me. If he gets grouchy, just kind of stay out of grabbing range." Arms
No.
length.
It's a thing, apparently.
You guys head into the tent. It's a huge tent, very poorly lit. Like, you think maybe in one of the rooms there's a light globe and it's faintly illuminating the other nearby rooms, but it's all dim light. You can barely make out anything. The air is stale and stuffy and faintly dank. There's weapons and maps and ropes and just
I know as soon as I walk in.
Yeah, Kenneth, I was like, this guy knows. This guy knows. There's weapons and maps and ropes and just this massive hodgepodge of random gear in every room. The clutter is honestly kind of impressive. Like, you could spend hours going through this stuff looting. None of it would be worth anything, but, like, you might turn up some interesting curiosities. It's really kind of like 4 rooms, comfortably sized for a Goliath. But there's so much random junk and clutter that it's just like first room, pathway, second room, third room. You know, like there's just one pathway through the entire arrangement of rooms. You get to the rearmost room, and it's clearly a bedroom type room, and there's a bed that's kind of made of like a pile of pillows with like a crudely nailed together wooden frame to give them form, so they're not just spilling everywhere. And there's next to it, there's a slightly more comfortable looking kind of cushioned chair type thingy. Looking at the bed, you see like a little hyena tail poking out from beneath the pillows. Like there's a hyena somewhere in there. Maybe it's a live one. Maybe it's just a hyena pellet. You don't know. In the chair is probably the most ancient looking Goliath you've ever seen. Like, you have seen old and you have seen weathered and scarred and desert hardened. This guy looks like he looks like a mummy almost. Like, he is old as shit. His kind of reclines he reclines in this chair, but his shoulders are kind of hunched forward, and he's not faking it like Gezrat Ben-Hun was. Like, this is just age. Like, his skin is mostly scar tissue and wrinkle and age spots. Like, normal Goliath are dark gray. Most of his body is wrinkly, light gray from like age spots and stuff. He's bare-chested and wearing this like short kind of kilt thing, so you can see his kind of skinny legs and his saggy beer gut. The kilt is not particularly lengthy. You are under constant threat of seeing ancient Goliath testicles. On his left leg,
That's just what I want to see.
on his left leg, like the calf muscle, it's just, instead of having a fully developed calf muscle, it looks like you see sometimes with polio victims. Like, the muscle is just like shrunken and misshapen, but it's from like a burn scar. Like, something really fucking hot just melted half of his calf muscle away.
That sounds painful.
Yes. He probably walks with like just a nasty fucking limp if he can walk at all. He's kind of looking at you guys with like foggy eyes that are mostly cataract. He has this crazy leering grin on his face that reveals just like black chiclets, just like black stubby stumps of teeth. He's got a pipe in one hand that reeks so heavily of dankness. He kind of squints at you guys and goes, "Well, come on then, sit a spell and tell old Nithimir the Spearbearer what you inbred desert leavings are needing. Speak quick now. Come on. Might be going on and dying any minute here." Got myself a big old night of drinking to be looking forward to. Sooner you speak up and tell me what you want, sooner I can go and get back to them chieftainly duties.
Domino nods to Cassius.
We're looking for your spear.
He, Nithimir nods and says, "Oh, everybody comes to old Nithimir, just wanting this or wanting that. Just give us a clue, old Nithimir. We ain't wanting your spear for silly reasons. We want it for powerfully important reasons. We promise." All right, you want my spear?
Yes.
Tell old Nithimir what you need a blade of bone and flame for. I'm all ears, and I'm eager as a lad with his first direction.
Silly reasons, actually. My friend Herbert here, puts his hand on his shoulder again. See, he's got a bit of a list. He wants to acquire these. Kind of get everything together and put it on display. And
Kanathar is far more impressed by this guy after that big one.
he goes, "That's pretty much all we would be needing it for. Do you want me to roll like a deception check or anything? I mean,
You said Herbert. Is Herbert in the room with you guys?
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, he's your
It's up to
character.
you.
If he can, he is.
If he can, he's in.
Okay, he's in there with you.
It's your character, so.
Banda's Pop Nithimir. Get my names confused. Kind of punches forward a little, and ever closer to seeing those testicles, you guys. He's got his pipe in one hand. Looks at Herbert. So Banda said you want to put it in a box. Herbert's like, Herbert. Well, not a box. As I said, a glass display in the Great Museum of Wasp to be viewed by generations. Leave. Herbert looks at you guys. No, get out of here. Nithimir don't want you here no more. Get out.
Just Herbert?
Just
Oh,
Herbert.
okay.
Herbert. Now you can make the 7 check.
Okay. 11.
Pop. I'm gonna be straight.
Actually, it'd be 13. Sorry.
He looks like he's about to suck in a breath and start howling obscenities at you, and then Domino says, "Pop." And you go,
Well, Herbert is very old, a very eccentric man, and he is interested in gathering all the artifacts of the dead gods. It's not to go in a display case in a museum.
"What you gonna do with him then?"
You look like a man who's been around the block a time or two, probably 3.
At least 6.
He says, "We're gonna try to get into the Fauna Shadows.
Huh.
We think we might be able to do it without the artifacts."
What you can do in that there Fauna Shadows?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of the god that supposedly resides there.
Oh yeah, gotta. Is it unceasing or unrelenting? The God of Winter, whatever. Fuck it.
That's
The
correct.
handout said unrelenting.
Clint's not acting anymore.
What?
Clint's not acting anymore. This character is him.
This is,
You guys can't see it, but the camera Clint has his pants on.
wow. Yes, the god of unrelenting winter. I don't know. We're not really sure what'll happen, but all I know is,
Just gonna go in there, shake his little hand,
well,
just poke him all.
we don't really have a plan yet.
We all done that. We all been young, poking a little corpse, half dead, flesh eater. Every time we fight with the flesh eaters, we got little Goliath boys out there poking them with sticks. It's fucking...
I understand where you're coming from. I do. But personally, I'm tired of this endless wasteland. I want to change that. I think Yafka deserves something better. I've watched more than half my family perish in these godforsaken wastelands while the people behind the walled cities grow soft and fat. Well, we, the working people, struggle day by day. I'd like to change that. The God of Winter may be able to help us do that. It may, I don't really know, may end Yafka for good. But the way I see it,
Well, there's a certain comfort in knowing things are going the way they're going. You know. If it ends, at least it ends. And I ain't gotta worry about hemorrhoids no more.
Hemorrhoids. The desert man's plight. Them crowsanks aren't that comfy, are they?
No, they're not.
Like to be known for the record, Karnan does not have hemorrhoids. It has never experienced this desert man's plight.
So, he says,
He can't relate.
after a brief toke on his pipe, he says, so you're all wanting to save the world. Well, shit. Can't refuse noble nonsense like that. And at this point, the room of the tent is rapidly filling with just thick dankness. You all have contact dankness.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Wow.
Canathar's probably good from the contact.
Yeah.
He's immune at this point.
He's immune at this point.
I failed my con save.
So does Karnan, in his previous interactions with Goliaths, is this normal behavior for Goliaths? I mean, is this attitude typical to a Goliath?
Depends on the tribe, depends on the individual. Gezret Ben Hoon was a lot more fucking mean and business oriented.
I mean,
Okay.
This guy is like an elder. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, this guy's like a.
is it safe to say their personalities are as varied as humans?
Yes, it is safe to say that.
Okay, so that there is no typical behavior
Yes.
of Goliath. Okay.
He sets his pipe aside and says, now all my people think I chucked that fucking spear way out into the deep desert. And it's true. I did climb up the pillars and think about doing just that. But no fucking idiot's gonna throw away an artifact. That's a piece of the god of fucking
Summer.
Endless summer.
unrelenting. I can't ever keep their name straight. It's God of Summer. It's
Endless summer.
It's God of Endless Summer. This one's got it.
He always does.
And I did, but only a fool would throw that away. I mean, we may not use it, and I really believe taking strength and power from external gadgets and gewgaws makes you weak. That's my philosophy. You gotta train body and mind hard every day. You don't ever stop. You rely on a spear like that, it makes you weak. But it's valuable, and it's powerful. And maybe someday Banda really needs it, so I want to keep it around. So, what was I saying? Blade of Bone and Flame. It's up on top of Stumpy. He's the shortest tower right up there. You have to wake the blade up, though. She's been sleeping all these years. At least I assume she has. Now, Bandit can tell you how to go and climb up the pillars. It ain't easy, especially Stumpy. But you can do it. I got a feeling about you fellas.
why
Once
is
you-
Stumpy not easy to climb?
Well, there's no handholds. There's no ledges. I mean, there are ledges, but they're few and far between. And look, if I would have told you this if I had remembered too when you were closely inspecting the towers, the ledges and whatever you want to call them, the collections of metal grit, they're much sparser on Stumpy than they are on the other towers.
It's almost like Stumpy is less magnetic than the other ones.
Perhaps.
I was
Now,
just thinking do like
now Bandit can
bag
go.
wire and bag wire.
Now Bandit can go and tell you how to climb up one of them pillars. It ain't easy, but you can do it. I got a feeling about you fellas. Once you bring that blade back down, I can teach you how to wake her up. So go on up and get it, and just be careful. You know there are birds on top of the pillars.
This is out of character. Are we going to be giving the spear back to them after we're done with it?
Are we?
Like, do they want it back? I'm fine with keeping it, but it sounds like he wants to keep it around.
He didn't really specify. You
But
can
he
ask.
does seem eager to give it up.
You can ask.
I don't want to ask.
You don't want to ask.
I don't want to ask.
I'll ask. would this be something that you would be expecting returned when we're done with it?
Well, let's just say you boys can go up and grab the blade, and I'll let you take her. And, you know, maybe someday Bandit comes and finds you and says, we got a bunch of flesh eaters out here, and I need that fucking spear back. And maybe you hand it back over to him, or you come down here and help him. That seem fair?
That's pretty fair, yeah.
Helping
Sounds
him
fair.
sounds fun.
Okay. So go on, climb up Stumpy or one of the other pillars, grab the blade, just watch out for birds, be careful climbing.
Kinds of birds.
Flying crossings.
I made a new creature. It's like the Neko snake, but with wings.
It's a winged dragon. It's a winged sewer gator dragon.
That's where I figured that was going.
Bird thing.
Bird thing.
It's a bird plane.
When
It's a fucking bird plane.
Nithamir nods in a very sage-like fashion, which is a little undermined by just a little bit of drool spilling out from the gaps in his teeth. And he says, "Birds, night fowls, flocks of them. You see those? You see the little babies out in the cities, little night fowl, little insect eyes and
Oh,
whatnot. They get bigger and they come fly out to the tower, the pillars, and they settle up on top.
How much bigger?
Bigger.
Like a problem bigger?
Are you asking him?
Or, yeah.
The babies are like this big.
Would we know?
Yeah.
You would know what they look like in night fowl will look like in cities, but they're very rare in the desert, specifically because they all migrate to the pillars every.
So
single-
it'd probably be safe to say we wouldn't know how big.
Yeah, you wouldn't really know how big. Nithimir might.
Yeah, but he also might call
I do ask.
He might call us bitches
Big enough
for
to be a
asking.
threat?
I mean,
You did warn us about him.
big as me.
Like a
Big
noose.
as Bandit?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a problem.
That's really big.
That's problem sized.
Yeah, but how aggressive are they? That's, like, not just size,
I
but
mean, they live
they're
there.
fighting birds?
They're fighting birds.
Alright.
Compared, forgive us. You know, we've never. I personally never been to the Pillars of Iron. How would they compare to maybe a desert raptor?
Oh, you're talking about the big night fowls or the little night fowls?
The big ones.
The big ones. I could ride on one.
Yeah. All right.
You could hook one up to your wagon and it could pull it and not be much inconvenienced.
Good to know.
They're fast too,
Fast too.
Can't get ambushed in the air.
and they can fly. They look like ugly fucking pieces of shit when they do it, and they're not very good. Like the little ones are, and he does this little makes that noise. But the big ones, they're very, very bad flyers.
How tall is Stumpy?
About 500 feet.
Fuck. God.
High enough that if you fell off him, you'd die.
High enough. If you fall, you die.
Well,
Like
you
for
just,
sure.
you run your rope through the.
And I'm sure
through the
these
eyelets.
birds have not been designed to pick any of you up and drop you off the tower. The pillars.
Designed.
They have not been designed to do that at all.
Mechanically.
Well, that's good.
Well, I'm glad the DM told us that they're not designed for that. So,
Yeah, I'd kill them.
wink.
So that's why I didn't
Maybe
get an
kill
answer
you.
back on the
and then
wingsuit.
Maybe it'd kill you.
So,
That would have completely.
and yes, you guys are all familiar with night fowls. They're little quail-sized birds. They have compound eyes like a fly. Their feathers, their beaks are kind of long and sharp and serrated.
Are they called night fowls because we won't have to deal with them in the day?
Maybe
Let's climb up in the day.
they are nocturnal.
Well,
Unless they nest on top of the fucking pillars or something.
Yeah, but if they're sleeping,
They all
just
migrate to
sleep
the
the
fucking pillars.
It's
Or
like
you-
the spear. They're sleeping.
Maybe they're hanging out at the big pillar.
Or you wait till it's nighttime and they're out hunting.
For us on the pillars.
We don't want to climb a pillar at night, though.
I actually. He might be onto something.
From what you know of the little night fowl in the cities, they're mostly carrion eaters.
So they wouldn't be.
So we
Okay,
just
I'm
don't
not
bother them.
carrying
We
on
just don't
yet.
bother them. Yeah.
Not yet.
So the only is one fall to our death.
Yes.
They don't
They
really
knock
care.
us
We won't
down.
get eaten.
They eat us.
No
Good point. You don't care then.
Then somebody else could climb while they're eating you.
The way to do it.
It's the perfect distraction.
So we gotta murder somebody, leave them at the base of the pillar.
Oh,
I was-
dude, that's actually not a bad idea. What if we like kill a crowsank? kind of like as a distraction.
Then we'd have to leave.
They're
the
like
wagon
bigger
here.
than crow-sanks, and they're probably multiple birds.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's something.
How do babies go to cities?
What's that?
If we can buy a crow-sank,
Yeah,
How
you
do
like
babies
breed
get to the
these
cities?
things?
Do they like fly to the cities to lay their eggs? They just spawn in the cities, like.
There are always
Yeah, the monster spawners in the city.
there are always
Little
little
cave.
nightfowl in the cities and the towns.
There's a little spinning mod
Okay.
in there.
Maybe these are the
Well-
babies in
well-
the reverse age.
Possible.
We at least know we gotta climb Stumpy.
We don't have to climb Stumpy. We can climb a neighboring tower. Use the walkway across.
Stumpy's
Stumpy
the
is the tough one
shortest
to climb.
Stumpy is a tough one to climb.
Why don't we ask what's in the towers?
But is Stumpy
There's
knocked
some.
off? Stumpy's knocked over, right? Like,
Stumpy is straight up, and then it looks jagged like something was torn
so
off. of it.
is there a walkway to Stumpy then?
Yeah, there are walkways. The towers are all interconnected with those big planks between them.
Even the ones that are
Even the
broken
ones
off.
that are broken off.
Okay, see,
Yes,
I was
yes.
misinterpreting that. Like only
Sorry.
the okay.
The ones that are broken off, I was gonna ask, but did we see any like chunks laying on the ground?
No,
that-
I asked that. Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay.
Which seemed weird. Which is normal.
Alright,
Everything's
so,
normal.
so what's the easiest one to climb?
Stumpy. Oh
Not
well.
Stumpy. Stumpy's the tough one.
Oh,
The
so we're
other
gonna walk.
says, "Go on and go talk to Bandit. He'll tell you how to climb. Just
Okay.
get on out.
So I talked.
Go on,
We get on out.
come on."
Nemi,
I talked
right?
to Banda.
Okay, you guys
Nemir.
go outside.
I thank him
Thank
for his
you.
time.
While
And his-
everyone else is
and
walking
his-
out,
and his wisdom.
I briefly inquire about his pipe, just because I want to ask him about it.
It's a nice little scrimshaw piece made out of bone. It's got some like colored enamel in it, kind of making a little mosaic pattern of like a little sunburst.
That's it. I just wanted to know about it.
His
Then
wife made it for him. She's
How
been
s-
she's
how
been dead
sweet.
like 30 fucking years
How sweet.
because he
And
is
she lived
super
a long
fucking
time.
old.
How sweet.
You didn't happen to drink any blood of endless spring? We're not gonna get like halfway up the tower and find a dragon. Because that's still not too late to have that encounter. Now that I think about it.
So you guys wander back outside,
Sure
and you
is.
find Banda standing next to a massive pile of rope, like a ridiculously huge pile of rope. He's got 6 weird leather harnesses. Well, 5, because Turok's gonna hang out down here and be the rear guard.
Be the counterweight.
Makes sense.
The harnesses are covered in like little loops of rope and stuff like that. And then there's a crate full of those circles that you saw scattered on the side of the towers, or the pillars. And he looks up from fiddling with one of the harnesses and says, "Pop-Up said you guys might be wanting to climb the pillars, so I gathered up some equipment. You guys got any experience climbing?"
Not like this.
I'll be
Yeah.
staying down. I have chainmail on. I can't climb the pillar.
Take it off.
I'm not taking the chainmail off and climbing the pillar. I'm sorry. I don't have any other kind of armor. You guys
I
have
have-
other armor.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm wearing.
Karn,
Either-
we're gonna we might need you up there. I'll buy you some more. I'm sure I could buy some leather armor from here, right?
Is scale mail metal?
Yes.
Yes.
It absolutely is armor.
Yes.
Might be wearing scale mail. I have traveler's clothes, but that doesn't give me any AC, does it?
You get 10 plus dex.
Just be a monk like me.
So he points to the giant pile of rope and says,
Go dex like
"You got rope. Rope is important. You'll see. You'll fix it to yourselves in the pillar so you don't go falling too far." Points to the leather harnesses. Secure those around your upper bodies, and you feed the rope through all these fancy loops so you don't go falling too far. The whole goal of climbing is to get where you're going and not fall too far when you do it. Not falling too far is as important as rope. You know?
Makes sense.
So Bando looks at Karnan and he looks at Kanathar. You two are gonna want to take all that shit off.
Excuse me?
Take it off.
The metal that's gonna get you stuck up on the tower and never let us get you off.
Take your top off.
Oh, so there is no secret.
Yes. Cassius's dick chop off.
I got you there. There is no tribe secret.
You are a verbal wizard.
I pull out a string
you
of
remind me
beads.
of my grandpa, my pop, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. You can keep your metal armor.
I pull out a string of beads. Ta.
I mean, is there any armor I could wear in place of my chainmail?
You got chainmail. What are you wearing? You got scale mail. He's actually making these noises like he's thinking really hard, and it's a very awkward answer that he has in his head, and he doesn't really want to say it.
Wait, what did you ask him?
What are any armor I can wear in place of this?
I'm sure we have.
I'm asking the guy.
Can we ask the cousins to borrow their armor?
No, I'm asking this guy.
Yeah, but we could just ask.
I'm
cousins.
asking this guy this question. That's what
Making it
You
a
are
heavy
asking.
one, I love it.
Now, we don't use gold much out here, but sometimes it comes in handy. You all got 500 gold between you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Take off your armor
Okay.
and have 500 gold ready.
I already took mine off.
Okay.
As soon as he
Take
said
your
it.
armor off, get 500 gold ready. I'll be back in 15 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Us two or just those two?
Are you wearing metal armor?
No, just the normal buckles and stuff I would have for.
What are you wearing?
What's that?
What are you wearing?
Leather.
What are you wearing?
I
Studded leather, but
want to say leather.
You have studded leather?
That's studded with metal.
You're gonna want to fucking take that off too, then.
it could be studded with bones.
Fair enough.
So,
Or not
Make
iron.
that
so Vanda
canonically
wanders
very
away for like
clear.
'It's
10
aluminum.
15 minutes. He comes back. He's got two ugly ass suits of armor. He rattles one at you, and it's got like scales on it. This is made out of young dragon. It smells. It looks ugly, and it does look ugly. It looks like kind of like grayish. Like it looks like ugly, like kind of like a rotted, kind of dead skin color. But it's scales. Like the scales weren't cured properly. It's
Of
hardened
dragon.
properly. It's really ugly and kind of smelly.
But it's probably pretty tough.
What's the
It
AC?
is equally as tough as a scale mail.
Boom, headshot.
All right. I feel like.
He already smells dank, so.
I think I'm gonna wash it if I do end up keeping it.
It-
But I think I would end up keeping
The
it.
scales themselves are like the gray color of like dead flesh.
Hell to the yeah.
He holds one out to you. This one is kind of like a pus kind of yellowy color.
I'll figure out a way to
It's
get rid of
it's
it.
circles, and he says, "This made on Mega Scorpion, Carapace."
Does it have any remnants of any of the venom that may have been in the scorpion?
No.
Venom would have to be inserted.
It's
like
just an
injected
ugly
anyway.
In the
pus
tail.
yellow color. Has the stats of regular chainmail.
Oh, so it's chainmail, but it's pus chainmail.
Yes, it's pus
That's
color chainmail.
gonna be in my character sheet. I wear pus chainmail now.
Yes. And give me your armor. The chainmail.
I'm
And the
giving
scale.
you 500 gold. That was the deal.
And you give me the armor. I said take off your armor and give me the armor.
We're gonna leave it here anyway. We're not gonna carry it up with us.
Yeah, but he's taking it from
I
me.
think he's looking for it as a trade plus the 500 gold.
Can I give you 750 and
No.
keep this chainmail?
The iron is more valuable than the gold.
Probably true.
I gave it to him as soon as he asked.
I like you. You're committed. You're wishy-washy.
I'm not wishy-washy. I want my armor.
Okay. He gives it back to you and takes his armor back.
1,500 gold.
Carter, come on. I'll buy you a new fucking armor when you.
You're not gonna give 1,500 gold for no additional stats, are you?
This is something you
I have
might
a
think
shitload of
about.
gold.
We're near Menom, the city of iron.
My chainmail. I won the games in this chainmail.
Oh,
Yes.
it's sentimental. All right. Domino says, clearly, Vanda, Karn's a little attached to his chainmail. Would you do us a favor and hold on to it? And he says, Domino has 2 steel daggers. He says, I'll give you these, or iron, whatever. I'll give you these, and he has 3 flint.
Good thing I
daggers.
kept my old longsword.
He says,
I
will
pitched
this
it in
suffice?
as well.
I'll hand him my hand axes. I mean, if he needs iron as trade, I'll hand him iron.
He really doesn't get why you're so attached to this iron, this chainmail.
Oh, we don't either.
Okay. All right, fine. We'll call it a loaner. I'm loaning you the suit of the Mega Scorpion.
I'll pay you
Carapace.
500 gold to loan it.
I don't want your gold. I got the scale mail. It's fine. Take it off. You break it, I'm taking your fucking chain mail. You hear me? You hear me? Okay. What was I saying? Rope is fucking important when you're climbing the pillars of iron. Rope. And the harnesses. You don't want to fall too far, because if you fall too far, you hit the ground and you fucking die. Everyone follow that? Okay.
Seems pretty straightforward.
So.
How exactly does this ring system work?
If you don't die from the fall damage, you die from bleeding out from all the metal shards on the ground.
He grabs a ring, puts it on the side of the pillar iron, puts a rope through it, and then there's a little clasp. It's like a crude carabiner clip, kind of.
Okay.
And it just secures it, and he puts his foot up on the wall and puts his other foot up on the wall side of the pillar and just kind of hangs there from the circle. This is how the circles work. You run the rope through them to secure them, and you all just kind of climb up.
Tom was like, this is gonna kill my knees.
Now, normal climbers, they use pitons, hammer them into rocks, run the rope through circles, and you ain't got to do that here. Just, put that magnetism. Nobody knows how it works. I don't. Pop don't.
I want to disappear for a second and go into our carriage. And drink from the chalice.
You drink from the chalice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
While he's gone,
You have 7 temporary hit points.
Okay.
I pointlessly argue with this guy about a different rope system that I know he does not adopt. No details needed. That's just what happens.
Okay.
I love it.
Vanda is already upset with fucking Karnan's bullshit, and now Kanathar is...
I'm not trying to push it on him. I'm just telling you. I'm just
This
laying
is
out
clearly the superior rope.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm just like,
You know,
could
if
do
you put it in
this.
this pattern,
What?
you could save on 2 of those.
Yeah.
That's really cool, boy. I'm going to tell Pop about it. We'll see if we can institute that in a tribal-wide climbing system.
And he's sarcastic this whole time, right?
Yes.
Well.
All right. Now, just be careful. We got sacks here. Put these over your bodies. They're going to keep all your belts and buckles and odds and ends from hitting the tower. Doesn't take much. Just got maybe half an inch. That's all it takes to separate from the magnetic field. You don't want to get closer than that. Otherwise, your belt buckle is going to be stuck to the fucking pillar, and you're going to be stuck up there. You don't want that. Okay.
I don't wear metal.
So those of you wearing metal with belt buckles and that sort of thing, take the appropriate precautions, wrap cloth around them, wrap leather around them, just to create a barrier that's thick enough to prevent them from getting stuck to the tower forever. The pillar. Why do I keep calling it towers? They're not towers.
Wrap whatever scraps
So.
of cloth around my buckles.
Maybe they're towers, and he keeps saying that they're pillars.
Unless your armor's bronze. Your chainmail's not bronze, is it?
It is now.
It is now.
Well, I'm just thinking if
He says, don't worry about bronze. Bronze don't get stuck to the pillar. Okay? Just iron. And iron-like materials. Like iron and steel.
Nickel and
I mean, I'm gonna probably venture to say it was because no.
Nope.
Well, no, I'm thinking of the gaudiness of what he would have went with, being how ornate
Nope.
his shield was.
Nope, that argument was canon. It was too much fun for me.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that at the time, so I still would have argued with him. So he told me that after the fact.
So
yeah, but he would have known it was bronze.
he would have been visibly bronze.
Yeah, yes, that's even better than it is bronze. And you still changed it. I like to think this is midway up climbing. Damn it, that was bronze. Like, that's even better.
All right.
And you look down at him, he's just laughing at you.
Banda says, now, depending on where you want to end up, you got a few options for climbing. Stubby here, and he passed the side of Stubby. Stubby here is the shortest pillar. Probably won't take more than an hour or 2 to climb if things go smooth like. But it's hard work, so things won't likely go smooth like. Ain't much in the way of ledges and such to grip onto. Climbing circles are handy, but they don't offer you a lot of leverage. They're very small. You don't have a lot of points of contact. So you can slip off of them, which, as we said, falling is bad. You don't want to fall. That's why rope is important. So, Stubby's probably the shortest climb, but it's one you'll have to rely on climbing circles for most of the climb, so that makes it harder. 3 westmost pillars, and he kind of points to them, are called the 3 brothers. They're the tallest pillars, so they take several hours to climb. But they're also the easiest. Nice wide ledges all over the place, plenty of grips and spots to hold on to, and there's a lot of climbing circles already on there. It's real easy climb, relatively speaking. And he points to the 2 pillars that are taller than Stubby but shorter than the 3 brothers and says, those are the tolerably sweet sisters. They take a bit longer to climb than Stubby, but they're not quite as hard to climb. You have to rely on the climbing circles a bit, but not too much compared to Stubby himself. He points to the very westmost tower, which is the one with the flat top that doesn't look damaged or broken. He says, now that one is Big Brother. He's the tallest of the 3 brothers, and he's the only one with the flat top. And once you get up top, watch your footing. The rest of the pillars are all jagged and broken, and there have been fallings. People have fallen. It's not funny. It's very serious. Falling is bad. That's why rope is important. That was unintentional.
He fell. So another thing to consider is if we don't climb Stubby, is that we don't have our rope with us at the top of the tower when we get to Stubby, if we do slip and fall.
I have good news. And he puts a harness around you, and there are straps in back to hold additional coils of rope.
Okay.
And he says, once you get up top, all the pillars are interconnected with those long planks of black Lugau stone. So if you don't want to go up Stubby, you can go up one of the easier climbs and get to other towers as needed. The planks are long, they're wide, they're maybe 15 feet wide, and they're of that black Lugau stone. They're wide enough that you don't gotta balance, and they don't move. I've been up on them. They don't sway at all. They don't bend. They don't sway. They are perfectly flat and straight.
So, are these aren't all the way up at the top of them? Like, it's not, because you said they're like different heights, or do they like slope down to?
They slope down.
Okay.
I asked Amanda where does he know where the I don't remember what the birds are called, but where the birds nest. Do they nest on like all of the tops or
Yeah,
specific?
they're all over the place up there.
And then I asked,
The whole place reeks of bird
what
shit.
time is it right now? Like
8.
8?
Yeah. Sunset's at 11.
2 hours to climb it.
2 hours to climb Stubby, 3 hours to climb the sisters, 4 hours to climb the brothers.
Something like that.
Guesstimates.
Maybe. Depends on how well you do.
So we're gonna climb Stubby, and you said that the iron that's coming out of them, they're like full-on ledges, like you could sleep on them, or
Most are not that wide, but some of the ones on the biggest of the 3 brothers, the very tallest one, that's the easiest climb. You could conceivably crouch or lay down on one.
okay, that might need to be a thing too.
So, to speak to game mechanics for a minute, climbing the pillars is going to be kind of similar to 4th edition skill challenges. And what that means is to complete the task, you need to make a certain amount of successes. In typical skill challenges, you have to get a certain amount of successes before getting a certain amount of failures, otherwise you fail. With the climbing circles and that sort of thing, you guys aren't going to fail so much as it's going to delay you. The longer it takes you, the more tired you're going to be, which means after a certain number of checks made climbing, you have to make a save to resist a level of exhaustion. Yes.
Okay.
So the way it's kind of going to go is not so much failure as it is getting up there and being in really rough shape, and then immediately having to climb all the way back down.
So I think it would be in our interest to climb up the big one, where we can maybe take rests if needed. I'm not saying like comfortable rest.
But on the way to the short one, we're gonna have to go through a lot more of the tops, which probably where the birds nest. So we have to probably do stealth checks past their nesting areas every time. So I'd argue the sisters, we climb one of those too, because those are
Kind of good middle ground.
the good middle ground,
I think
and they're
that's-
both close to Stubby.
I think that's a fair argument. Don was in agreement with you, real.
Alright.
The mid-grade challenge.
Okay. You guys want to ask Bandit anything else before you go off on your adventure?
Wish us luck.
Okay. Who's all going up? Just you guys, or are you bringing up Kandara and Metris and Herbert, or
I
leaving it down?
think they've been through a lot.
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably slow us down.
Let's tell them.
Give them some
You
rest
guys
time.
keep an eye on the caravan. Let the cousins know what we're doing. Get some rest.
Anyone else want to drink from the chalice?
I will do so.
Yeah, I would like to kind of warm up the joints.
Doesn't really do much because it's going to take hours.
Maybe if you drink more.
No.
Any bit that makes this easier on my joints, even for a little bit,
Okay.
I'm willing to do.
How many drinks did you take? Just one? Just two?
Just
Seven?
one.
Just one.
Just one.
Your joints don't ache, and you gain 6 temporary hit points.
I drink the whole chalice.
How many drinks?
Take 2.
2 drinks?
I say I drank a lot. My skin turned like tomato
6.
red, and I was having.
You all
shortness
feel
of
really
breath.
uncomfortable when warm. Are you familiar with the effects of the chalice? Did you read? You're not? Or did you read the RP at all?
Karnak does not.
The earlier stuff.
So you swallow, and this uncomfortable burning sensation moves its way down your throat and sits in your belly like a ball of hot lead. Your skin gets a little red.
Actually, this would be a good time to test it. I fill one of my. I fill my wineskin from the chalice.
Okay.
I put it on my hip.
Okay.
Just want to try it.
Okay.
See if it does anything. If it doesn't, oh well.
Okay. Let me know when you drink from it.
Okay.
All right.
Karnak
See if
does
it-
not.
If we can make like potions, essentially, you know. Otherwise, we might have to try like filling a lizard with it and then eating the lizard.
What?
It's got to be a living thing, so you're eating from its stomach, you know.
Interesting. All right. So you guys get to the base of one of the tolerably sweet sisters. So how are you going to do this? Are you each going to climb up individually, or are you going to go all on one path?
I think we should probably go individually, or like at least pair up.
Okay.
Because I think if you go up one path, then if the top person falls, then every person below him has someone falling on him. But then
See, I was gonna say the opposite thing, so I don't know.
I'd
It's
say
a-
the opposite, because once you have the ropes hooked in to the
We can follow each
circles,
other's.
Yeah, they don't move.
That's how they.
We can use less circles in case we need more getting down or something like that.
That's how they climb mountains.
All right. Who's going to lead?
I'll lead.
You lead? Okay. All right. So the main check you will be using is strength or strength athletics. But if you can make a very good case for why a different ability check would be appropriate, or why a specific ability your character has would be appropriate, we can explore that too.
I have acrobatics, and I was wondering if I would be able to kind of like use whatever carabiner I'm using and kind of like walk up the side to gain height. Like kind of like if I've got my rope here and I'm swinging back and forth like this, gaining height, clipping them on, and we're going up these things in a spiral.
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
So, alrighty.
Make your first acrobatics check. All right. So you guys cover maybe 150 feet up into the air. Cassius is kind of doing this little dance around the sides of the pillar. He kind of swings, clips
Us.
he clips a circlet onto the side of the pillar, swings back, swings again, kind of grabs it long enough to latch the rope through, and then kind of dangles from it and just kind of goes that way. He uses ledges where he can, but there's not always a ledge there. It's a very uncomfortable progression, and he kind of makes you guys feel a little dizzy the way he's swinging around like a monkey. You guys don't know what monkeys are. There aren't any monkeys on Yafka, but you get the idea. So your first hour passes just fine.
like a tree dragon.
All of you have lost the effects of the chalice of balance drinking from it.
I take a swig from my wineskin.
It tastes like wine.
Figured.
Do you take a swig from it before the hour is up?
No.
Okay. It tastes like wine.
I'll make a note of this to tell Herbert later.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Other athletics. 21.
Similar thing. Everything goes fine. He's doing his swingy monkey impression, even though monkeys aren't a thing on Yafka. And you guys have become a little bit accustomed to these ledges at this point, and the metal shavings are very solid. Like, they don't move any more than the metal climbing circles do either. Like, they are very solid. Parts of them are sharp and pokey because the metal shavings kind of stack on top of each other and then they form spikes, kind of. But not enough to be really dangerous.
Do these look like intentionally placed, or are they just kind of like happen to?
Nah, the best way we describe it is if someone took metal, like the wind caught up
Nice.
metal shavings and just splattered them across the section of the wall. But there's rarely any wind ever.
That wouldn't be bad.
Does it make any difference, like, if we push our foot on it or something?
Oh no,
It doesn't move at all.
Doesn't move at all. You know that if you play with these metal shavings too much, they will start to lacerate your exposed skin and
Yeah.
leather and stuff like that. But being careful, you're able to navigate them pretty easily. You're at about the halfway point up one of the tolerably sweet sisters at this point. Next check.
20.
Glad you're leading.
Okay. You guys are not really having any trouble with this. This is going very smoothly.
It was part of the entertainer background.
Fourth check.
What's that?
Fourth check.
Fourth check. 27.
Holy
Jesus
Sorry,
shit.
28.
28. All right. Pretty much. That's how it goes.
I have expertise on that.
So, you're almost to the top. Everyone make a Constitution saving throw.
This is where I fail.
You guys have been climbing for hours. You are sweating.
Oh.
Your limbs are aching and sore.
Oh, saving throw?
Yeah, saving throw.
Okay, it's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad.
12.
18.
20.
9.
19.
Canathar and Cassius are fucking exhausted. Domhnall is huffing along. maybe it was the chalice and drinking from it that gave him that extra edge.
Whether it was or not, Domo totally thinks it is after
Okay.
seeing like Cassius.
And he is just going up there like a machine. Cassius looks like he's barely hanging on by a thread. Canathar like is coughing and short of breath and just like drenched in sweat. His blood pressure's elevated. His heart rate's up. He just looks like a mess. Cassius and Canathar have a level
Wait,
of
I
exhaustion.
thought you said he was exhausted. That's just normal.
Canathar and Cassius have a level of exhaustion. That means you guys have disadvantage on all ability checks, which are skill checks and ability checks. So, you get up on top of one of the tolerably sweet sisters, and it's a pretty. We'll say you're the one next to Stubby, like next most to Stubby.
Think so.
You alright?
Yeah, I was trying to catch it for him. It didn't.
We'll say you're the one closest to Stubby. There's a long plank of black Lujgau stone. There's bird shit everywhere up here. There's jagged, kind of sheared spikes of metal. And there's just little night fowls everywhere, like hundreds and hundreds of night fowls. And not like big ones like Pop Pop said, like just little like quail-sized ones, just like just cooing and chittering and screeching to themselves. There's a lot more bodies up here than you would have expected. Yeah, like there's rotted, half-eaten corpses of Goliath and humans and albino, cannibal, crazy, the hills have eyes people.
The big ones are real big.
Starting to chafe.
And then there's what do you want to say? There's dead hyenas and dead crowsank and stuff. There's piles of bones and like the whole place is basically a bird shit covered carrion heap with nests and weird chitin feathers. Like the nightfowl don't have like feathers per se. They have feather like body parts that are kind of more similar to a scarab shell than actual like feather material. It's weird. Like they really shouldn't be able to fly, but they do.
But that's normal.
It's normal.
Okay.
Many of them are looking at you guys with their heads kind of cocked to the side. Like, cool, cool.
Like Donald kind of really wants to just like punt one, but he's worried he'll attract a big one, so he's not going to.
And like some of them are very bold and like they kind of hop towards you on little bird legs and like, cool, cool.
Donald uses his staff to just kind of doesn't hit him, just kind of shoos him.
Kind of hops to the side a couple times. Hops back. Cool, cool. But it's not really dangerous. It's fine.
A new familiar.
The birds, like, there's a lot of ruffling. Well, not ruffling, clacking of chitinous shell feather stuff. Like it's
Chitinous? Is it
chitinous? I always call it chitin,
Same here.
but chitinous
Maybe I've always called it chitin. Maybe it is chitin.
could be. Whatever. There's a little bit of clacking of their feathers and them kind of like cooing and nestling into their nests, but none of them really seem bothered by your presence.
Well, that's good.
Yes, that is good.
And then there's a long ass plank of black Lujgao stone leading over to Stubby.
15 feet wide.
15 feet wide.
Okay. Carnan starts walking down it, straight down
It's
the middle.
rock fucking solid. This thing does not shift, it does not shake, it does not bend.
Straight down the middle.
You could do cartwheels on this and it would not move.
I
Do
get
not
to
do
the
cartwheels.
Okay.
while we're still up here, I'm still dropping hooks, like across the bridge.
Okay, they lay on the bridge.
I'm just looping the rope through it.
And then they shift and some of them fall off and some of them
Wow.
don't.
It's not magnetic.
It's black Lujgao stone.
Okay.
It's chitin.
It's chitin.
I hope not.
I really needed to know that.
It's the chitin of the gods. Oh, I thought you were talking about the black stone. You looked it up.
Yes, I looked up.
Okay. So, as you approach, you want to get the map out of the way for me,
Yes.
and then you're gonna want to zoom out a little because I can't make small maps.
No, I am. My computer's going crazy right now.
It's a big map. I didn't want to make it so big, but you can probably get the just zooming into the middle. So I've used these little spikes like this to represent like chunks where the metal has sheared to a point and stuff like that. And this is all kind of generally uneven, like shattered metal. It's not uneven enough that I would constitute it as difficult terrain, but it is. But it is uneven. And so you guys are approaching the top of Stubby, and you can see basically this. And you see
Are those
Large.
each one of the
large.
No, it's the top of Stubby, right?
This is what you see on the top of Stubby. Big night fowl. 1, 2, 3, 7 of them. And then you also see swarms of night fowls. The little ones that go
Okay.
coo.
Cool. Okay.
So where
Cool.
are we
Cool.
in this?
Cool.
Nowhere yet.
Okay.
But I will
Cool.
put you somewhere.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Also, did
A
we end
party
up
is
waiting
nowhere.
until we would be up here at night, or
Oh, I think we did.
Oh, night is fallen by now.
Okay.
You guys have torches, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm not going to worry about lighting effects then. We'll say you're up here in the corner.
Okay.
Oh, that's big.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's smaller than it
These
should
things
be.
are huge.
150 diameter.
Yeah, to a side. 150 feet to a side, so
Oh.
it's quite huge. And I
Keep saying diameter.
shrank it down. Like this, I think is only like 70 or 80 feet by 70 or 80 feet. So yeah, that's kind of what the situation is. And there are hundreds and hundreds of night fowl on this one too, and there's bird shit everywhere, and there are corpses everywhere, and that sort of thing. There's carrion meat and remains everywhere. The place fucking reeks. There's so much bird shit on everything. You reach the top of Stumpy. You're tired, sweaty, and covered in scrapes and nicks and that sort of thing from your rather difficult time. Blah, blah, blah. Most of the nests that you see are inhabited by the little night fowls, but there are 7 large nests with very, very large night fowl in them. These things are like ostriches on steroids, but with functional wings and long serrated beaks and huge compound eyes and that sort of thing. So you have really no idea what you're looking for. Nithamir said the spear, the blade of bone and flame, would be up here, but he didn't specify where.
Did he say which?
He said it would be on top of Stumpy.
Okay, and we're on.
You're on
this is
Stumpy.
Yes.
None of the birds have noticed you at this point, and it is very dimly lit. So if you had to guess, you would say that maybe it's in a bird nest.
That one. That's just down the skip. Oh, that's a long way. Wow.
Things with flying speed usually can fly like twice as fast as you can walk, too.
That's true.
Usually.
I'm just preemptively adding initiative,
How is?
but you're not in initiative.
How far
at
is
this
that?
point.
155 feet to that point.
I could hit him with a bow. From where I'm at. And not even I step a square forward, and I'm not even at disadvantage for it.
I just have to take 2 steps forward. And I can throw a fireball at this one and get these guys.
There you go.
Like that's what Domino's thinking right now. He whispers that to you guys. But I don't know if we're better off to try to get closer, sneak up on them, or from far away. Because
We don't even know if they're gonna pick
we
us
might-
off.
well, that's the thing. We
They
might be
could
able
be
to just hide
carrying meters.
behind maybe a boulder and just throw a fireball over there and scare them away with that.
You know, he said we know the little ones are carrion eaters. What's to say the adults aren't? You know,
I mean,
All the dead corpses.
they're all carrion.
They are now. It's true.
It's true, they are. They do look like carrion.
well, if they were carrion, are they eaten if they're dead corpses?
Everything's been chewed on up here.
Okay, yeah.
Bones have been cracked. Meat has been chewed on and cut up with claws and that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Do what you want to do. I just meant like,
Well, no. Don was literally like trying to figure out a plan here. Like that's, I don't know if. Do we have another plan?
not really. I mean, we need to get.
Do we walk up and say hello?
We could.
I wouldn't say walk up and
for
say
night
hello, but
and
we're
have
already
them-
at nighttime.
It is night. We could wait for morning,
And they have dark vision.
and we do not.
But you got torches
We want to wait till
if you want to light them.
I'm not sure that I do.
we want to wait till morning because one, I'm exhausted. I don't really want to fight with this climb.
I don't disagree.
I don't know that I agree.
Like, I don't disagree, but I don't know that I agree. Because I don't know how I feel about sleeping 150 feet away from these things.
Well, we set up watches. The same as any other night.
Except we're in the middle of a swarm of. What are these things called?
Nightfall.
Nightfall.
I want to say Nighthawk, and I knew that was wrong. Shit. Man.
Analysis paralysis.
Don was kind of perturbed, and well, we wouldn't be exhausted if we hadn't been all fancy about climbing up here.
I got us 3/4 of the way up here.
Yes, you did. Well, it's Fireball tonight, but what does everyone else think?
I voted rest. Rest and watch.
Karnan, what's your vote?
I feel fine.
Kanathar?
I'll be a tiebreaker if we need one.
Okay.
I choose indifference.
Is it like
Kanathar away.
has night completely fallen by now, or is it low light?
Oh yeah, it was like 8 o'clock when you started climbing. It took at least 4 hours to climb.
Okay.
And night has completely
So I
fallen.
say we. I don't know. We wait.
We need that tiebreaker.
Rest and wait.
We rest and wait.
And then if
It's a safer-
we hear them
safer
flying
bet.
around, we might be able to poke around a little. And
That's the weird thing.
I don't think that's stopping.
When they're not shaking themselves and like deliberately clacking their feathers together, these things are utterly silent, except for the cooing that they periodically do. Like as you're arranging your
Doesn't stop
camp
us
to
from
kind of
eating.
like, maybe you're draping a blanket over yourselves or something. I don't know, to hide. Like maybe you're set up behind like a pillar or something, or like where the elevation is different. Like you see one of these big ostrich-sized night
I don't
fowl
know if
take
they're
off
gonna
into the
attack
air,
us.
but it's completely silent.
But I think we have to search your nests.
We don't know.
No.
Well,
And it's a very clumsy flyer.
You guys could both take watch and one of you could sneak away. And go investigate. That's what you wanted to do.
I mean, I'll take my turn watching, but I'll stay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna walk into a whole group of them by
Just an
myself.
idea
So.
for you.
You guys are making camp for the night?
Yeah, but no fire.
Make a stealth check.
Well, that sucks. That's an natural 20. We'll take that. That's 22.
22.
21.
15.
Rest Sanchez.
6.
17.
Oh.
He had a 15.
15.
Somehow, 20 feet from these birds that have extremely keen vision, you manage to evade their perception. Your entire party avoids detection somehow.
We act like corpses.
That's
Don't
why
get
they're-
eaten somehow.
I was gonna
That's
say,
why
I've-
there are skill checks.
I've got that weird ranger aura thing. Will you say it was that?
So everything passes uneventfully. You can make out dim shapes moving in the darkness. Sometimes there's cooing. Sometimes there's louder screeching from the bigger birds. Sometimes there's chewing noises on meat and the cracking of bones.
That's unnerving.
Sometimes the fresh scent of shit that is of the birds wafts across your nostrils. But it's uneventful, and you nap, and you feel better in the morning.
Is the exhaustion removed then?
Yes. The exhaustion's removed.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Glad I could help.
Are you designing the rubber
Thank you.
system?
Thank you.
No, I'm designing the fake system that I told him about,
Oh, Chase.
but it's very poor, and my drawing skills are not that great.
You guys might get to see my drawing skills later. They're not good.
I have
Okay,
the basic
so-
concept down though.
So morning.
Yeah.
Are they still here, the large ones?
Oh, yeah.
Are they sleeping now though?
Not really.
Mechanical
sense.
question: do these count as beasts?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I fireball them now?
Okay.
I would not advise that.
It's a sneak attack.
But there's no surprise rounds in 5th edition.
But there is surprise,
Yeah, there's surprise.
which is effectively the same thing.
Kind
It's
of.
just worded differently.
Kind of.
But it makes a difference for people that have like assassinate
Yeah.
reactions.
I mean, go for it. Whatever.
I mean, no, Don was talking about this. What are we doing then?
Drop a fucking
Drop a fireball on them.
You're not gonna hit more than one of them, though. That's the problem.
He can hit up to
I'm gonna
4 of them.
smoke this little group of foul here and explode these three.
Okay.
So that's what I try to do.
If you hit it, hold on, Kev. If you hit it in the middle here, you might be able to get
That is true. I'll see if I can do that.
at least the 3 big ones there and the group.
I don't think it's 20-foot radius. I think I'm just out of being able
There's
to do
20.
that. Yeah.
Slide over one.
Can't, because then he misses the one that's there. So he's going to either get these 3 or the one in the middle.
Clint, they've never found any way to get any of the metal off these pillars.
Well, we don't know that.
You
Maybe
said
I'll
it's
go
a
for these
purple
3 then.
Okay.
I'll go for the 3 on the outer edge.
But, like, can we say that I asked the tribe and they, like...
I will tell you,
heard it
DM
said-
2 player, there is a way to get metal off of the pillars.
I asked him, and he said it was a tribal secret.
Is it... Okay, but is it just an extreme amount of force, or is it some magic, or some trick?
There is a trick to it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Player. DM to player, yes. There's a trick
It's
to
like a
getting
Chinese finger trap. You
Not...
push
I'm not
in.
trying to use the knowledge
Yeah.
for game.
I just
for
want to
my
be clear.
system. And...
And it is not based at all in the laws of physics or reality.
Alright, good.
You know, like D&D tends to be.
All
I
right,
have to
where are
lick
you?
it.
You're dropping it to hit which ones?
You have to lick it,
These 3.
and that makes
So
sense.
No,
three?
I changed my mind. I'm gonna do these 3. I can just barely I'll do the ones on the outer edge instead.
Okay.
You have to lick it. That's what you have to do. That makes sense.
Right.
In Clint's world, that seems like it would be.
Yeah.
You dirty man,
Yeah.
You got a jizz on it. That's what it is.
Gonna beat off on it.
Just beat it.
So I need 3 saving throws. That would be a.
Oh, another way to get into the font. No one's tried rubbing
And don't
Chuck
forget
Norris's
that
tears
you
on
have to roll for my
They
spell
what?
chart.
it. No one's tried
Yeah.
rubbing Chuck Norris's tears on it.
Chuck Norris isn't in this universe.
Well,
The
Carnan
swarm
has
makes
his
a save.
sword
This
drawn
universe takes
before
place
he
in
does
Chuck
this.
Norris's back.
Yeah, Domo lets everyone know. All right, everybody, get ready.
The swarm of
Everybody
night
there.
fowls makes their save, and the 2 bigger ones fail theirs.
That's a
And I
good
need to
thing.
roll for you.
Swarms are bad though.
Get 63, which gets us. Everything works fine.
Okay.
All right, so 8d6.
That's a good thing. I love that spell.
How about 2d6?
Absolutely.
If we're still in the
Be
surprise
different
round, I'll nail the top one there.
Just twice.
Big night fowl one with an arrow. Or
6,
try.
10, 15, 20,
What's the range
23.
on fireball?
150 feet. I said I move forward.
Oh.
But I didn't actually move my character
Okay.
forward. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And I
How much damage? I'm sorry.
23.
23.
I mean I moved up with him.
Same. Well, if you guys can all move your.
Yeah,
stuff.
Donald said everyone follow him. We ride! So we should move ourselves. I'm assuming you get about there.
After the fireball drops, there is a shit ton of screeching and howling and angry birds.
Yeah.
A lot of the nests and rotten meat are on fire now at this point too.
I think I gave it to him.
So all right. Next in initiative order is Cassius.
Okay. So I'm gonna hit big fowl one.
Yeah.
My longbow,
No, it's me.
It's convenient.
and it is 20.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
You were
Big
freaking out trying to
foul
figure out how to do
one
it.
is here. Okay.
Okay. What was that?
20 to hit and 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay. And what did you hit him with the short bow?
Longbow.
Long bow. What's the range?
150 feet
Okay.
to 600. But
All right. Uriel.
I'm assuming the
Wanna
light
get-
crossbow is 60 to 120.
I want to get behind this.
But I think it's something like that.
There.
Right at the first this one. Right there. That's good.
Hand crossbow, it is 30 and 120.
Are we 120 away? I think we are now.
You'd have to, yeah.
You'll have disadvantage on your attack roll though. Unless you move.
33, 80.
From where you're at,
What?
real is here. So yeah, you'd have to move a little bit. 120 is still right here.
That's weird.
You pretty much move up to the rock
Yeah,
I'm at.
you'd move up to like where Cassius is and take a pot shot.
Okay.
I'll double move to that rock and I'll call it good for now.
Double move then.
Yeah.
Wonder what that's all about.
Can he get there?
Mm,
I'll double check. What is that? Is that 90?
50? Go back one. It might be 90 actually. Yeah.
It is 90, yeah.
Holy shit!
It's not quite.
So
I'll
you
move to
get
that
just
rock.
to
yeah.
that rock.
Damn.
A little past it if you want.
I'd stay there. I'd stay there too. Okay.
Alright. It's a surprise round, so the big night fowls can't do anything. The swarms of night fowls can't do anything, but now they can all take reactions.
Yeah.
I forgot that because they weren't aware of the attack, they would have had disadvantage on their dexterity saving throws. I re-rolled the swarm that succeeded. They succeeded again. So
Okay.
nothing was unchanged. I just wanted to make sure that I told you that I did that. Canathar.
I am also just gonna run up to the rock.
Okay.
Is that you?
Yes.
Karnan.
Did they double move to get to the rock?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 45 feet to the rock, 50 feet.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I
Cutting
go to the
action
rock.
dashed.
I'll just
Other
pile
side
up behind
of
this one rock.
This side, right there. Yeah.
Anything else?
Here's where we find out they have a sweeping attack.
Oh no. Clint, it is
Spit acid.
8320.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Their clunky,
I
heavy
just wanted
bodies
to double
make
check
them
if Beyond
perfect
was wrong.
aerial
Okay,
cannonballs.
so we're on
I was
the
like,
top
whoa,
of the
not
hill.
cool.
Oh, I was
We're
looking at
what? On the
the
top
hand
of the
crossbow,
hill.
not the light
Yeah.
crossbow. That's what it was.
Yeah, you were. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, light crossbow's 8320.
Anything else for Carmen?
No, I can't do anything.
Back at the top with Domino.
That is. I'm just thinking like that. What is it? The Eldritch javelin that makes like the
I know.
Eldritch blast
as I
600
sat
feet.
there, I said, really
That is
nice.
insane. Why would that ever
It's
come up?
Constantly.
150 feet is
So
this far.
Domino's not gonna take his
Render
full
it.
movement. Then he's gonna bomb the same place with fireball again.
Okay. Starting with the swarm, they fail. Which ones? It's
I can't remember their names.
Yeah,
3, 6,
3 and 6.
and swarm 3.
6 succeeds, and 3 doesn't succeed. Okay, that's unfortunate. So roll your damage while I roll to figure out what happens to Domino.
I rolled in a roll 20 because I don't have 86. I feel like 6 is a big roll.
You are poisoned.
Yay.
Domino starts vomiting his guts out.
It's 5.
At the end of each of your turns, make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. So how much damage did we do? I don't have that.
38.
38.
I don't use it for any.
And I'm poisoned.
Sorry.
Ooh.
I'll give you enough stuff.
No, I need one more. I'll go grab one.
No, I got it.
I love it. You go.
The swarm of Nightfall is basically just incinerated. Little flamey, partially cooked chicken bodies fall to the ground. Go ahead and make a saving throw against the poison effect.
Con?
Yeah.
That was really good, and then it rolled the not really good. 9.
Nope, you're still poisoned.
Okay, I figured as much.
Cassius is up.
I'm gonna move up to that front rock there. big night fowl. Cunning action dash.
I don't believe you have line of sight.
No, not there. I want here.
There's
Back
one down.
2 seconds.
I want.
Well, he could shoot.
And then
while
there's
he's
one
running,
down
too.
here. I
That's
think
true,
that he's
that's true.
shooting at.
I love that inclusion in 5th edition. I always thought that's the dumbest thing ever. Oh, you
Oh, what?
can't move. Then in previous editions,
Oh.
you weren't able to like
You're
you
shooting
had
at
to
that one?
move
Yep, the same one that I hit before.
and then attack. Like you couldn't move, attack, move.
Yeah.
You had to use all your movement in one.
Sorry.
What did you do to it?
I'm shooting it right now. It is 20.
Hits.
How is this so fucking hard?
13.
Oh, you're
Piercing.
That-
If I can finish the movement, it was here. I'll move just to the top there. Right. Yep. Right there.
Here we go.
It opens up some space for you guys.
Get you a sense of scale of the battlefield.
I moved it here, which is 30 away.
Here?
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot my crossbow at that one that
I
Cassie's
didn't
is
know
firing.
that one was smart. I didn't see that one was almost dead.
That one?
That's okay.
Am I in range of that one? 80? From that
We can find out.
What are you shooting
Yes,
with?
you are.
light crossbow.
So
fire
disadvantage,
at that.
but
Well, no, 80 wasn't it?
8320 is good.
oh, light crossbow. I'm sorry, I thought you said hand. My bad.
18?
I
Oh,
can't hear
got it
right.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's not disadvantage.
No, it's not. Which one are you targeting? The
The very low
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that hits.
Four damage.
Oh, you son of a bitch! It's still alive.
It has like 1 HP.
So Big Night Fowl 3 starts flying the fuck away.
You did it.
Straight up into the air,
Oh, maybe not.
away to go far, far away where it's not being killed.
You did it.
So it's gone. Big Nightfall 1 kind of jumps into the air and kind of hops down next to Cassius. Uses multi-attack. Gets a critical hit with its beak.
Of course.
And a 19 with its claws.
Hits.
Okay. 13 piercing damage from the beak and 12 slashing damage from the claws.
Ouch. How do we roll critical hits in your campaign again?
Max plus half max
Okay.
die damage. So D8 does 12 damage.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
And I'm exhausted.
Did you have the 2 black dice that were there?
I probably did.
There's
Another night
10
fowl kind of does an ungainly flight towards Cassius.
I took a D12 apparently.
Damn it. Does multi-attack, but both miss.
Is it this one?
No, it was a D100 and a D10.
Are they like exactly the same colors?
Oh no, I had 2 of them up here for my HP.
I think I did take him.
Where's that? I don't know. So
wait a minute, I have these. Here, I put them with me.
Clint, can you? I haven't really got that versed in Roll20 and multiple monsters yet. Can you add those like initiative all at once?
Yeah.
Okay. You just have to select them all.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't have been pronouncing chitin wrong for like a billion years.
I called it chitin until 9th or 10th grade when my chemistry teacher called it chitin. I made it through 7th grade and 8th grade and 9th grade biology, calling it chitin.
Oh, I also heard you mention the word piton earlier, Clint. Is it piton?
I don't know.
I've always thought it was python.
I thought so too. I think it is piton.
Well, let's figure it out.
All right, so the big night fowls are done moving. Hey, weird thing. In that centermost nest, you can see a black shaft of bone, like a hugely long femur poking up from it.
That's probably the spear! I don't know why I'm whispering. That's probably the spear!
That whole thing.
They're awake now!
This flock of night fowls just comes swooping in and just swirls around Cassius, like pecking and clawing and scratching at him. Their attack gets a... Really? Didn't fucking write down any of the damage statistics for
It's
this.
pitons. My life is a lie.
11 plus 15 to AC.
Misses. Wait, 11 plus 15?
No, 11
I was
plus
gonna
5.
say.
11 plus 4.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So, let me just...
Yes, that does hit me.
Yes. Unless I'm inspired by something, it hits.
Let me just write this down before I forget. Plus 4.
I'm thinking about fireballing Cassius.
I wouldn't. He's about there.
Well, I can get these two back behind him without hitting him.
You
Fireball
hit the
here.
third one there.
I don't know how big the radius
Oh,
is.
that is a fantastic idea. Canathar's like, oh, Canathar's my life coach.
You could move it
Or
in
like
one
your
more
math
block.
teacher.
One more block towards me.
Oh, I totally
Yeah.
can, and I can smoke every single one of them motherfuckers.
Canathar!
It's really hard to tell Canathar and Carn.
Did I ever send you,
It's racist.
Clint, did I ever send you Dave's new mini that I painted for him? Dave's new...
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't think so. Canathar!
Did you know you can do line of sight too?
Mm-hmm.
In Roll20? You can change how far the players can see.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, not just the radius, but the actual
The
like angle.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do, my friend?
Which way they're facing.
I'm gonna run 30 feet this way. Like toward Dave. That's Carmen.
5, 10, 15,
Told you.
20, 25, 30.
And then I'll
Can't
just
tell
shoot,
apart.
I guess I'll shoot my longbow and this one in the back.
This one?
Yeah. No, this one. 5 plus, I think, 10.
That actually hits.
Holy shit. I mean, they are big.
They are.
And you said clumsy, right?
They fly clumsily.
This could be written down wrong. Is a longbow a D8 or a D6?
D8.
D8? Okay, I have it right then.
Short bow's a D6.
It's true.
Oh, I get 2 attacks, don't I? That's 4 damage, and then I get 2 attacks, right? Because, or is it melee?
Are you 5th level fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 2 attacks at your attack action.
That one
You probably pick
hits,
up a longbow
and
instead of
then
crossbow.
8.
8
So
damage.
4 or 12 damage total. Piercing.
Carden of the Hill People.
So 30 feet should not reach any land?
Oh, yeah. You can get here.
Okay. I want to get up in his face. And, longsword at him. So make both attacks at once just for expediency.
It goes.
I say, caw. You don't.
Is it?
So that's not great. I missed with that.
Okay, what do you
Unless 12 hits him.
That's not.
And the other one's a natural 1, so I don't. Is that a thing in your campaign? Yeah, I lose initiative. Yeah.
And the next attack against you has advantage.
Of course it does.
And you're right on top of one of the
It's okay, I'm gonna throw him.
Domhnall, join us.
Domhnall runs into the fray. Ish.
Is it? They have when attacking a swarm. Is it disadvantage or is it?
They just have a bunch of resistance to stuff.
Okay.
Alright, poison is just disadvantage on all ability checks
And attack rolls.
and attack rolls.
Yes.
Which, good thing they're doing saving throws, because I'm doing another fucking fireball.
Okay.
I'm doing it in the center here, I believe. Might be one over. Nope. Here? Yeah. So I hit
5.
these 5.
Okay.
Best money I ever spent, boys. Oh, that's a lot of 5s and 6s.
My dice shaking well. 22,
Everything works fine.
27. Even better. 29, 30. 34 damage.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Where am I going to 1 though?
Okay. Starting at the top
Three,
here.
four,
So
six.
you have plus 3.
Oh, I'm going to 5.
Nice. How much was it?
34. Yep.
That one's gone.
Oh, I totally
Damn it. I can't roll above a 10 to save my life. Or my bird's life. Fuck you, Domhnall.
And I'm sure the last one's just dead, right?
Oh, and I get a con saving throw, right?
Big fall 1.
For poison?
One of them died, yeah?
No, this one also probably dies?
No.
No, that one
not
took
quite.
damage.
Oh, you took that? Okay.
Yeah.
And my con saving throw was 13.
3 more night fowl fly in.
I am feel poisoned.
Cassius, join us.
Okay. I rolled a 17 versus
The big bird at the top.
The one directly next to you.
2.
Yep. Big bird 2, and then an 18 on the swarm around me.
So around it. Alright.
Yeah.
How much damage do you do to the big bird?
The big bird is. Sorry, hold on.
Welcome to my world.
16 damage.
And how much to the swarm?
It would be 10 damage and then reduced to whatever.
You knock a couple birds out of the air.
And I'm going to try to move away. I would get an opportunity attack from.
All 3 of them.
Not the ones I hit because of the swashbuckler.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's fine.
But the one that
Oh, that's why.
I'm going to take a step back towards Canathar.
That misses.
Did you take an opportunity attack then?
I took the one from the big fowl,
Okay.
and I'm actually going to move right next to Canathar. And that'll be my turn.
Here we go.
I charged the swarm of night fowl. My first attack was a 10.
That does not hit.
My second is a 12.
That hits.
Oh. And I do 11 damage.
Still
wanna
a
look
lot
back
of
down
birds in
again.
that swarm. You knock a couple out of the air though. So there's that.
I should probably be the one attacking the swarms.
Yeah, that's okay. They were around me, so it's not like I could. I like the skulls.
The big
that they
bird
have on 'em.
charges towards Domino. Uses multi-attack.
I like the skulls that they have on them for their bases.
Its beak.
It has advantage on me too.
Gets a
I'm poisoned. I thought.
no. It's not advantage on you. You just have a disadvantage on attacks.
Okay, that's good then.
Its beak hits with a 20, I think.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, and then the claws miss. From the beak, you take 9 piercing damage.
Solid hit.
Big Bird 7, I think, charges towards Karnan. Attacks with beak and claw.
It's got advantage.
Oh, it does. It's a 17 hit?
No.
Okay.
Assuming my AC was unchanged because of the armor swap.
Right.
How far to that middle nest?
From you?
Yeah, can you zoom out?
80 feet, looks like.
Another one attacks Karnan. Does a 20 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Beak misses. He's able to shoulder it aside with his spear or with his shield or something, but the claw gets him in the side,
Okay.
dealing
About 80 feet.
12 slashing damage.
Oh, crap. Okay.
The swarm moves into your real space, makes an attack against him. It's a 20 versus AC.
Oh yeah.
He takes 7 piercing damage from all the little pecking beaks poking at him.
That's painful.
Nightfall 2 steps forward,
You have 1 HP.
uses multi-attack on your reel.
That's the first name.
Does swarms grant advantage?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
I would say
I think it makes sense that.
Nightfall
I
2
said something there.
misses with its beak as it darts towards your reel,
no, I said
but it
I
comes
think
in with its
they
claw
do. I think they would.
and gets a 24 versus AC.
I would.
Oh no, 26 versus
What's
AC.
that?
I think
I would.
And
I
the
would
claw
agree.
tears through armor and deals 12 slashing
They get
damage.
advantage.
I would say that
Oh,
at least
absolutely.
obstructs sight to the creature.
But it's true.
And then Nightfowl
Unfortunately.
1 flies away because it's really injured.
You know that, Clint? I
Yeah.
would say that at least obstruct vision
Right.
and grant at least disadvantage. If you want, I can re-roll the attack on the swarm, and I would just use lucky or inspiration. I had to get rid of that.
I used the last one that I had.
I don't want to sit on it. You know?
Kinda.
No, it wasn't even that. It was too expensive.
Couple big birds around Karnan. One's clawing at Domino.
How's everyone looking on the hill?
Your reel has lots of bird problems right now.
I will run to Uriel's aid.
How does your reel feel about me fireballing? I can magic missile.
I might not survive it.
I'll
I
magic
shall
missile.
run here,
Okay.
next to Uriel.
Yes.
Other side.
Here?
Yeah. Then I'm going to attack the big bird
Yes, the big bird.
twice with my magical sword.
That's right, you have a magic sword. I forgot.
They might look bad, but I know they hit.
Are you, what?
I have +8, and they only have 10 armor or less.
15.
Yeah,
15?
the
Oh,
big
I
bird's
hit them.
15.
The 10 last time
No, you
with
hit
my
the
arrow.
15.
I rolled a 10, and you said surprisingly that hits.
Yeah, you did. Because it confused me later when you said it.
Yeah, because you
Oh,
said my 12
I
missed.
must have misunderstood you.
Okay. Well, if they're 15, then neither of them hit.
Okay.
So then I action surge and go for 2 more. attacks.
Okay, yeah.
And neither of them hit.
They were worse.
And I have a +8 to hit.
Dude, that
Darn it.
sucks.
Oh, +9 to hit.
Karnan,
so
you got 2
one
big
of
birds
them
on
would
you?
have hit.
Big bird number 5. Swing at him, the top one.
Do it. Uh-huh.
Okay.
To clarify, the AC of the big birds is 15. Just so we're all on the same
So
page.
I miss. I'm gonna action shoot.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you, bud.
Take my initiative down further.
Oh,
One
shit.
more-
That
one more natural.
sucks.
Wow. I missed 6 attacks in a row. Huh. Okay.
That's how I felt during games.
Donald.
Downhill is going to not worry about this guy, and he's going to magic missile the swarm that's on Uriel.
Okay.
So, yeah, he does that. And he's going to hit all 3 darts. Unless something good happens.
How do you have so many spell slots?
I don't
He's
have
infinite.
slots.
Oh, you
Spell
just have
studs.
infinite? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Studs
that's
are-
how
studs are
studs
That's how
work.
studs
Really?
work, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they're a higher level spell, do they have
No, it's just
stronger
your,
effects?
This is the one that's on your
Yeah, the-
wheel.
like the normal
Yes.
spell.
3 darts.
But
Full
Okay.
damage.
Well, I
You
mean, do
have
they have
infinite.
stronger like chances to fail or like?
We
That's
don't,
up to
we
him.
don't know that.
We could
You
buy
gotta
one.
roll every time you cast a spell.
13.
Yeah.
He did say.
No, I know that part. I didn't know they were infinite.
Damn, I
He did
need
say
Yeah.
about your con saves
So we rolled a
Cool.
9.
or something like that, like in the rules.
Okay, that's probably not good.
But basically,
It's the same
Kevin
effect.
can just blast and blast and blast and blast until he drops down. And
I kind of want to make it say that you go to the next step worse.
Do it.
Make a DC 15 con save.
24!
You don't fall unconscious. You're just poisoned.
Still!
So, new addition to the stud use rules. If you already suffer from a bad effect and you roll that bad effect again, it moves it 1 step worse.
okay.
So,
Which makes sense.
I saved that one. Do I still get my save from the end of my turn for the
Yeah,
first
you still get to
poison?
make a save worse at the end of your turn.
Nope,
Okay, still poisoned.
not that one.
All right, Cassius, do
Okay.
something. Cool.
I'm going to hit the first bird there
This one?
by Karnan,
Okay.
and I'm going to do a fancy spin down to the second bird.
Okay.
Like here?
As I come past the first bird, I'm stabbing and spinning away and coming and stabbing the second bird.
Okay.
First bird, I got 18 plus 7 to hits.
Okay.
And he takes. Sorry. Math. 8 damage.
Okay.
And the second one takes. 13 damage.
You're real.
And Kevin, I'm gonna move the rest of my movement down towards the middle.
Do you know how much movement you have left?
That
What
was-
secrets lurk in your mind,
Here.
Uriel? Spill them forth upon the page.
Here?
Yep.
Let these hit.
I'm having a hard time hitting him. All of us.
Okay, okay.
Who are you attacking?
That was me last
He's
time.
fairly
Fairly
that's
normal
on me.
night for me.
Do you have disadvantage on attacking a swarm that's on you?
No, it's just super fucking resistant to everything
Except magic bitches.
except magic.
18 and 22 to hit.
Okay, those hit.
12 damage and then 10.
Oh, you knocked the last little itty bitty birds away. You're free. Free. Free.
Then I action surge.
Yes. Who are you attacking?
Ooh. The big bird right in front of
Yes,
me.
the big bird. Big bird.
My base rolls are both 18, so I'm assuming it hits.
Yeah, those hit.
And then 14 damage and 11 damage.
He's squawking crazy. Kittiness feathers are flying all over the place.
55 feet.
It's not gonna make it.
Next turn if I-
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. It comes back at you with a beak and a slashing claw. The beak misses. The claw gets a 20 something, 25, 27, I don't know. Take 12 slashing damage from the big old claw.
Painful.
that, Dave?
Nightfowl 7 peels
your
off
HP?
towards Cassius. That provokes an attack of opportunity from you.
For me?
Yes.
I like that. Alright, so this about time. So that would be 8 damage.
I'm about a third of my health.
8 damage.
Somewhere.
Alright.
Let me make sure just a second. Oh, that's not until later. 14th level crits at 18 also.
The big bird peels away to go for Cassius. Karnan takes a swipe at it with his sword, and it kind of stumbles and completely misses, jamming its beak into Cassius's face.
Remember that thing, Clint, that I could, but that doesn't happen with a attack of opportunity, does it? Where I can knock him.
What are you looking at?
Do you remember that? I took that feat. What feat was that? Just a second.
Okay. I'm going to resolve.
Shield Master, does that apply in...
Are you talking about?
No, it says on your turn. Never mind, sorry.
Okay. Nightfowl 5, I think it is, takes a beak and slash, takes a multi-attack at Karnan.
Okay.
Beak crits.
Okay.
And claws get a 17.
That messes.
Wasn't like
Okay.
that.
What are you looking
I was looking at
What do the beaks do?
Oh, unless I want to...
literally enough.
I have 37 hit points.
Yeah, but I had advantage on an attack against you. No, because the beak would have attacked first, and the advantage would have been on that. I got a crit. So. Alright, so the beak gets a crit and deals...
I'm gonna use the bathroom quick.
13 damage?
I'm almost done,
13
actually.
piercing damage?
Okay, I thought it did more than that.
It's just the beak. Claws do more damage.
Okay, so under half health we have exhaustion.
Yep, you get a level of exhaustion, which is disadvantage on ability check if it's level 1. The big nightfowl number 4 goes after Domino. Beak misses. Claws get a 24.
Oh yeah.
17.
12 slashing damage. A big old bird claw comes at
That's
you.
much worse.
I think I can kill it this turn. Anyway.
Nightfowl
If it gets sweets
form
on me, I'm down.
4 comes
The
into
big
your
one?
real space.
Oh.
You literally know exactly
I forgot I could push him away from
Gets a
me.
2 though, so that misses.
That sucks because I could have knocked him away.
Nightfowl Swarm 1 flies into Cassius's face.
Oh, those are not bad.
They're
rolls.
not
15 doesn't hit, right? Okay. That's fine.
Did you say what the AC of the swarm was?
12.
12. Okay.
Canathar's turn.
Okay, I am going to attack twice at the big nightfowl,
Okay.
the one right next to me,
Okay.
and I hit with a 21 or 22 and a 19,
Okay.
and the damage is 4 plus 8 plus 6, 28.
Dead.
Nice.
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Meat's back on the menu.
And then I will spend a superiority die to cast Rally on Yoriel. So you gain 7 plus I think 3. You gain 10 temporary hit points.
Ooh.
Nice.
Someone's a chalice of balance.
What do we need the chalice for?
Don't get rid of the chalice, guys.
Don't give it a chalice. I mean, there's a lot of silver. Karnan. Karnan, sweet Karnan.
Get them damn birds off.
Take the,
Silver in our weapons when
Fuck his shit up, man.
take another set of attacks.
Yeah, weapons to
Nightfall
heal.
5.
You cannot be killed by this dagger.
Take my initiative down further.
Kyle, I have a
I'm gonna
pad
give you
paper.
inspiration,
Kyle,
Dave.
I
Yeah,
have a pad
I'm gonna
paper,
use my inspiration.
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
the
say
shelf
I have
for everybody
paper
to take.
too.
Okay.
Is that another set of attacks?
That is one advantage to use on an attack.
Okay, so that attack die was an 8, so I'm gonna hold on to that and reroll the attack.
Okay.
There we go. That's a crit.
Okay.
That's a hit.
That's a crit.
Well,
19.
how many attacks did you hit with?
Well, I was only able to reroll one die.
Okay. All
so
right.
1.
And it was a crit?
Correct.
Okay. You have a long sword? Oh yeah, he's fucking dead.
Okay.
You hack that fucking bird apart.
Dave one-shot him.
Minus all the health that was already gone.
After it was on like a third, sixth
Dave
of health.
himself one-shot him.
Okay. Anything else for Karnan? What's he looking?
Not great. I don't really have any way to fix that, so
What's your
second win.
What's your HP at?
I'll use my second one.
Okay.
Plus 13 health. Alright, I'm good.
John.
Okay.
I'm
Hit
okay.
Domino is going
Hit
to
dice aren't a thing.
What?
Hit dice aren't a thing.
swing his staff around
What's that?
Nothing, I'm just teasing.
and smack.
I said hit dice aren't a thing though.
Try to smack the
Well,
bird right in front of
second
him
wind is.
Yeah, I'm
with
just teasing.
a
Are you still poisoned?
damn.
So you have disadvantage.
No.
Oh well, okay then.
Both those hit, and then now they're fucking a 3 and a 2. I'm gonna spend my inspiration.
Okay. Everybody's inspired this battle.
Dave, did you use my inspiration or yours?
His.
Mine.
Okay. Yes, I can give you mine.
Okay, so my
Good.
secondary attack misses, but my main attack has a 21
Okay.
and deals 7 damage.
The bird kind of squawks and goes. Squawk.
Then I'm gonna action surge and magic missile its face.
Please do.
I do.
Oh, where are the die? Die. Where does the other 10 go? It always disappears on me. There it is. So, well, this will be interesting. You use a 5th level spell slot.
Nice. So that means 2 more magic missiles.
Yes.
Wait. No.
Wait.
That means
4 more magic missiles.
Is
Okay.
it 1 every level?
Well, it's a first level spell. You cast 1 more dart for each spell slot level above first.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
that's
Okay, so right now I'm at 8,
It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it always hits.
10,
Unless you have shield,
14.
which,
That's still a thing.
yeah. If you have shield, magic missiles
16,
can't penetrate
18.
shield,
18 total.
Well,
regardless of
that
level.
makes a kind of squawk noise.
Yeah, take that, bitch.
I did not care for that. Like there are whole like.
I was
stretchy-
fine, and I was fine.
There are whole sections of this thing's body that have been defeathered because of blasting magical force.
I didn't appreciate him squawking at me sarcastically.
It's Cassie's turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna swing both my short sword and my rapier. I'm gonna swing the short sword at the birds, and I got a
The swarm or the
swarm. Sorry, I got a 16.
The birds.
That hits.
Okay, they take 7 damage. I'm going to shift down to the bottom of the big bird, and I'm going to stab at him. 17 to hit, and 17 damage.
Dead.
I forgot to roll my con save. Are you okay with me retconning
Yeah,
that?
correct.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
Anything else for Cassius?
I'm gonna spend the rest of my movement moving back towards Karnan. Should be 5. I get right about there. Right here.
We were moving it together.
Oh, no, not that far. I'd be like right at the top where the bird's beak is.
Uriel.
My second attack misses, but my first one is 21 to hit
Uh-huh.
and 11 damage. and depending on how I feel that damaged the swarm, I might use another.
Not much at all. You knocked a bird or two out of it, but there are dozens.
I'm gonna action surge.
Yes.
I absolutely love the picture of the birds for your swarm.
I couldn't find a swarm of crows, so I just used pigeons.
They were 12 to hit, right?
That's much more terrifying.
Yes.
I had a 14 and a 16.
Have you ever seen Home Alone? Lost in New York?
Yeah.
Another 3 or 4 birds.
28 damage between the two
These
attacks.
rocks that around there look like oysters.
Alright.
I believe in
Big night fowl. Flies in the air, provokes an attack of opportunity.
Are your rocks oysters, Clint?
Yep.
Does it look like oysters?
I know.
Slice at its wing. Oh,
Probably
I guess you can't
not.
really slice.
7 plus 6. I don't know.
No.
Just,
No.
13. Yeah.
I had to spend my inspiration too to
Yeah.
get that second attack.
Nightfall 4 flies the fuck away
I already spent it.
at a rate of 80 feet per
I
round.
never remember to. So
Per
yeah,
round.
I'm gonna do that.
Nightfowl
I have
swarm.
inspiration and luck points.
Back on your reel. Why ruin a good thing? It's got a good thing going. It's
Let's get a tasty meal.
Were there any other things flying back at the bottom of the screen there?
Don't think so.
Was it 16 versus 88?
Hard to. Oh, there is. There totally is.
That was the
7
one you
piercing
threw
damage.
away.
Okay.
You've got 3 temporary hit points left.
I thought there was another swarm somewhere.
This swarm flies back on Cassius.
Yeah.
It's a 21.
Hits.
7 piercing damage as all the little pecking beaks start, giving you slightly more painful rug burns. And on that note, it is Canathor's turn. Canathor? I like it.
Oh.
Like Thor, I can.
I don't really know what to do against the flock, right? Or against the swarm.
Fireball it.
Not really a studs kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be a stud like that.
Oh, damn
Blood.
it. I got a flask of oil. And a torch.
Thousands more swarm to us.
Yeah, I mean the top of Stubby has become pretty divested of birds. Like once you guys started dropping the large night fowls, like flocks of littler night fowls are like, nah, fuck this shit, man, and started taking off for other pillars.
Makes sense.
I don't really know what to do because I can't really like attack at them in the same square that Yoriel is, right? Without hitting both.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Unless you're really bad.
Like these.
But kill
Communicate.
shit, whatever.
All right, I'm going to attempt to double attack.
I would forget to keep track of it that
18,
way.
11, and then plus 9 each. So
Yeah, that
I wish I could find the D10s like Kevin's out there.
What do you mean?
The red ones like that.
I think Jacob got me these. They're just like super cheap.
Because you had them in
29
like the
damage.
potion bottle there.
Oh, yeah, those were all just from a random.
All
I
right.
bought a big bag of dice.
Fine. Defeat my swarm of birds.
it's
I
possible
want a
I'm
pound of
doing
dice.
something wrong, but I doubt
I want a
it.
pound of dice.
I think I just got pretty lucky on those rolls.
I'm done with
Um,
you. It's Karnan's turn now.
If you're
Multiples.
Dave, if you're doing it, I recommend getting like either the skull splitter dice or the whiz dice.
The whiz
Bag
dice,
of sets.
I got sucked.
It's
No, I mean like the bag
Karnan's
of
turn.
holding or the bag
Oh.
of devouring,
See, it's long swords,
because they
I
come
can
with
do a lot.
Now I'm gonna
guaranteed sets.
But I mean, I'll go down to the
Versus the pounded
that
dice, you can
swarm
end
of
up with a whole
fowls
bunch
one.
of
I'll
D4s.
move myself. I can do it.
Okay.
That'd be awful.
Yeah, and they don't
Go right
match.
there, and
Okay.
I mean, I can make a
You're not
longsword
using
attack
precision
against a
dice.
swarm,
Yeah, sure.
You're not using your precision dice.
so I'll do that. Both crit,
I mean, technically, your most
Both
precise would be
crit?
a
Yep. both
algorithm.
19s.
Fucking A! That's sweet.
About time. So I mean, that's how does critting work in your campaign?
Max
your-
and a half damage.
Yeah.
And your initiative
Plus
goes
your
up.
modifiers.
So
12.
So 12.
Plus your mods.
12. Well, wait. So
And-
8 times 3 plus 12 1.5.
No, it's
So
8
my max
plus-
damage is 12.
yes, plus your modifier.
No, my max damage is 14. Because D8 plus 6.
Okay.
So 14 times 2 times 1.5.
What's your modifier?
It's plus 6.
Plus 6. So 12 plus 6 is
So 42
18.
damage
That's 36.
times 1.5.
No, it's 8 plus half of 8 is 4, so it's 12 plus your modifier of 6. That's 18. 18 plus 18
Oh,
is 36.
so it's not.
It's a
It's
full
not.
weapon
It's not.
die.
It's
plus
weapon
half
die,
weapon die.
plus half weapon die plus
Oh,
modifier.
so it's not half damage. Okay, it's
Correct.
half weapon die. Okay, so 36. Yes. That's a lot of damage. Though.
All right.
Damn, they're still out, motherfuckers.
How many?
Swarms take half damage.
How many did I kill?
A dozen.
Yay. That's a dozen more than.
Do the swarms do less damage when they're more hurt?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been paying attention to it though. So.
What were you saying about dice? Which die?
Domino's turn.
When you buy the pounded dice,
Magic
you
missile
can
at
end up with
All right.
fucking
a
Cool.
whole bag of
Fight over.
D4s. They're not organized at all.
I don't
It's
even
just
care.
random, no cards that match. Nothing.
We're good.
But if you look at like the skull
I'm
screw
calling
dice,
it.
Those really good damage
or the
too.
bag of holding, or the bag of
All right.
devouring, they come with like 13 guaranteed
So
sets
we're out of initiative.
that match.
There are all these nests and piles of stuff to investigate.
So skull splitter. Got it.
I don't really need to. So do you go over to that black bone haft?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Domino's fucking on top of the world after that fight.
So
He hasn't felt this good in a long time.
you go over to the nest and you see kind of this long, several feet long haft of black bone. It looks like a super long femur, like 4 or 5 feet long. The bone
But I
appears
can
to be
get shit
scorched
dice.
completely black. Do any of you
Most
touch
likely get shit
the
dice.
bone handle?
I'll touch it.
The bone handle
This
of
kind of stuff's
the object is uncomfortably warm. Like, not hot, but just like warm.
Maybe-
And like as you touch it, like gray ash stains your gloves or your fingers or whatever.
Like picking up a bariatric patient between
Yeah.
the top
The
of
spear
thumb.
kind of looks like that. Big long femur, about 4 or 5 feet long, and then a big weird metal head, which I will describe momentarily. The head is kind of a sort of triangular device of some kind, like it's a couple inches wide. It's kind of these bands of dull gray metal. It's kind of weird. Stories say that the blades of bone and flame have heads and blades of frozen flame. This does not look like that. It's just this dull gray metal. And Cassius, from handling this weapon, even just to lift it up and look at it, or maybe to touch it or move it around, knows that this weapon, the haft at least, is much heavier than regular human or Goliath bone.
I hand it to Donald.
And Domino holding it and maybe doing a couple tests.
Yeah.
It's very warm. It's very, very warm to touch. And like the metal head is warmer still. Like it won't like melt your skin to touch the metal, but it's hot.
Domo kind of likes it.
And now your hands are all like fucking ashy and shit.
Oh.
The weapon is horribly balanced. Like whether you use it 2 hands or whether you're swiping it in 1 hand, completely unbalanced. Very unwieldy in combat.
Alright.
It's now
Well,
We need to test it.
We dip it in
Birds.
the chalice of balance. And it's balanced.
And they run Monday.
Let's go find a bird. Let's
Monday.
test it.
No, it's sleeping now. We had to go back to the chieftain for him to
Monday.
awaken.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But we should climb back up after because we can test it on the loose stone, the black stone.
well, it's e-ink.
Because I don't think there's any down there.
Actually, I think it'd be easier if we're going down. Just
Don't really
clip
know what
the
that means,
python
but it looks
or
It
Baton.
what it does it either set.
on the top and then
It
just
doesn't take any energy to keep the
rappel
screen
down.
how it is. It's like it just takes like a very very slight amount and it'll stay black or stay white.
It's like, have you ever read a Kindle?
Yeah.
It's a
the
Kindle
same.
screen.
It's the same type of screen except it's got a pen and everything.
Like there's a little crystal
It's really
that
neat.
tells each pixel to stay black or
don't
stay
flip
white.
around pages.
Kind of like
I won't.
Etch-a-Sketch.
Unless you already did, in which case, oh well.
I didn't.
I'm I'm assuming that's because there's more campaign-related things, right, Clint?
No, not at all.
There definitely wouldn't be any more campaign-related things on my campaign
Tablet.
tablet.
He doesn't want to see his outline porn.
How much was
As
that?
I say, it's definitely
Outline
$450.
porn.
Oh, that's a
Not
good looking
not a
silhouette
porn
right there.
What
Oh, look at
device-
that web diagram.
What
You're
device
gonna
is
flip
that
through there, and there's gonna be like a
specifically,
very crudely drawn
What device is
rose
that
from
specifically?
Titanic.
A remarkable writing tablet. R-E-M-A-R-K. Remarkable. What's that?
They make color ones now too.
Digital paper.
Yes.
That one's a lot more than $300.
He doesn't have to use like any.
He got it
to
when it was
keep the screen.
in the early stages of funding.
Yes. He did. Alright, so that it? That all you guys want to do up here? You gonna head back down?
Yeah, I think so. Dom will ask if anyone else wants to handle it. Hold it.
No, I got my
Touch it.
curiosity
Pat it.
right now.
I mean, I'll touch it a little bit. Like,
It's warm. It's like almost hot.
I smell the ash.
It smells like ash, like fire, like a really really hot and nasty fire pit.
Does the head look sharp at all? Like,
No, it's completely blunt. Like the
so it's basically a shovel with a bone handle on it.
yeah,
Like an
right
easy
now.
tool.
Yeah, like the width of the bands of metal is about that thick, and it's on an angle, but it's flat, and it's flat. It's all flat. Like it's a really bad shovel or a really weird club.
Thumbs up with that. Dom will strap to his back like he would his.
It's so fucking heavy. It's so heavy. You're just in awe of how heavy it is. For just being a piece of bone and metal, it's immensely heavy.
Alright.
I take it from him. I ask you for it.
Yeah, I like
Just
it.
real quick. And never mind, I can't do this. It's not in my character. I have an intelligence of 10.
Okay, that's average intelligence.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and find the center of gravity or center of mass to see if the bone is heavier or the iron is heavier.
It's not.
But I wouldn't know how to do that with an
And
intelligence.
it's not iron, because it didn't.
Well, the
it didn't
blade
get
or the
fucking
bone.
stuck.
You might. I
The
mean,
blade or the bone, basically.
I think that's reasonable for a warrior to want to know where the center of balance on a weapon is.
Okay.
The blade is definitely heavier than the bone.
Okay.
And it's not iron, because it doesn't stick to the pillar of
Like
iron.
your
Well, I meant the blade.
I didn't think about that.
basic. I mean, layman. They're gonna know how to balance something for.
So
Yeah.
I
Building
thought about it,
something.
but I didn't want to test it.
you guys go back
Well.
down. It's much easier. It's really simple. It's simple.
It's like repelling.
You're just sliding on down. You manage it without too much difficulty. Once you get down, you find Banda seated in his camp chair eating a haunch of meat. He and Metris have like a card game going. Kandara's chatting quietly with Herbert over some of his notes and stuff. Banda looks at you guys and his face is shiny with like wine and like grease from the haunch of meat. And he sees like a nice. Pop's still in his chair. Go on in. Can't believe the fucker hid it up there and didn't tell anyone. I can't believe no one found it. We go up there all the time. They're birds that we eat, or sometimes they eat us.
We saw a lot.
You know how many times I've had to go up there to find studs from people that got caught by a bird? Jesus fucking Christ. He doesn't say that because Jesus fucking Christ does not exist in Yafka. Just like Tyre doesn't, by the way. Tyre is not a god that exists on Yafka. You wrote in your questionnaire that you feel a strong tie to Tyre. Or Torm, one of the two.
Juggalo fucking Christ.
Now I gotta go back.
Yes. So you wander into the clutter.
Yeah, tired. So that's not a thing.
No, it's just the 4 gods.
Okay.
4? Yeah, 4. 'Cause it's 4
4
seasons.
seasons, right?
And they've got
Five,
a
there's
balance.
the balance.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
This is
don't-
his skull.
Don't have that connection. Then,
Okay.
like I said, I did.
I just assumed that
It's
you did.
illegal.
You wander into the clutter tent and find Nithemir smoking his pipe in his chair again. He's got a little hyena pup on his lap, and he's kind of petting it while it gnaws on a little chunk of bone. Nithemir, and then he sees the spear on your back, and he's like, "You got it,
We got it.
got it." She She's all sleepy. She's sleeping. Now, normally, when a beautiful lady's sleeping, you don't go and wake her. Not for something silly. But you're going to want to wake her up. That's what the metal head. That metal head is. That's not the head. She's asleep. She's hiding in there. You got to get that off. Now, I don't know why it wraps around the head. I assume so it doesn't burn the fucking shit out of everything around it. Nothing's going to penetrate that. You can bang away on that all day. You can light it on fire. You can, I don't know. I've tried things. Nothing broke through that gray metal. Don't go away until you wake that blade up.
Can you teach me?
I'll tell you how I did it. And this blade ain't magic like we know it. It ain't no stud. It's a piece of the goddess of eternal summer, and she's dead. Yeah, you and I, we know this, but she don't. That's a piece of her, and she don't know she's dead. The blade is like an arm that don't know it's been lopped off by an axe. It ain't alive like we are, but it kind of is. You gotta make the blade be a new limb for you. You gotta convince it that it belongs on your body and obeys your brain, not the dead goddess. Because, you know, she's dead and shit. So.
Don was kind of looking around at the rest of the group like, oh.
So first, you gotta take an axe. And then you just lay your own arm out. And then you just bring that axe right down on your arm. And then you just take that bone and you just jam it right in your shoulder. And he's gesturing with both of his intact arms as he says this.
How do you know this?
I'm just kidding. You just gotta bleed on it. Bleed on it a lot. Bleed on it until
Don lets out a big sigh of relief. Can Domino do this right now?
He says,
Can Domino not do it? Are you gonna be using it?
Domino really wants to use it now. I carry this fucking heavy thing all the way down.
You gotta lay her down,
Be the
gentle
staff
like,
guy.
and you gotta bleed on her. The blood's gonna smoke, and as she burns it up, but burning the blood, she'll come to know you through that covering, that sleepy head. She'll understand that she's a part of you. She'll still fucking incinerate you if you get sloppy with her. So don't wave her around all clumsy like.
Is Herbert present for this?
He's napping.
That'd be funny to wake him up with like this flaming spear over him. Herbert, look what we found.
Like, do you mention Herbert?
No, I was wondering if he was in there because I mean we just came down from this thing.
Domino's too excited.
This
that
is
he
like
didn't
his
think
wet
about
dream,
it.
you know, like getting these artifacts, and I'm just wondering if he was awake for this whole process.
So Domino flips out an obsidian dagger, and he's ready to do this right now, and he's like,
Right here in the tent.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And as he's walking out, he's like, this isn't necessarily mine. How do we decide who wields this? I got a little carried away, I guess.
It's a little
Before
bulky
we
for me.
leave, I ask him, is there a way to put it back to sleep?
Just let her be. Leave the lady to rest. And she'll wander off into slumberland.
You'd have to bleed on it again to wake it up.
Once that metal goes on it again.
Where's the metal come from?
You just leave it for long enough, and
Does
It's just there.
I guess we don't know. They'll
Can I
figure out.
investigate it?
Investigate what?
the metal, does it look like the stone that the cities are made of?
No, it's just gray metal.
Okay.
Gray, dull, but
Non-ferrous.
kind of slightly.
Not like
reflective.
iron.
Not iron.
Non-ferrous.
Non-ferrous.
Go beat it on the iron pillar.
Nah.
It
Yeah.
won't stick to it.
I know, but
Unless it's not. the
if he's
law.
saying it's a lady, you don't want to go beating a lady's head against a
It's a
iron
very,
pillar.
very good point.
Yeah.
I thought
feel
that's
like
how
that'd be
he woke it up,
disrespectful
but-
too after what he just told me.
I'm okay with Domino hanging onto this one.
Fine too.
I'm fine with
I mean, it's a little heavy and bulky for me. I don't think you said you weren't really interested in.
Magic?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It's not magic. It's just a dead chunk of a god.
If
And then-
you don't want it, however.
Magic.
What?
God.
What's your
Is-
strength?
17.
So we're
Is
mine's at
Turok a fighter?
Yeah.
And
Not
he's a
20,
Goliath.
but whatever.
Well, he's
Yeah.
also not here.
He's also not here, but it's just an idea. Could be best suited for him. But
I heard Turok say he's
What?
okay with it.
okay,
Sounds good. All right.
You told me
not
earlier.
trying to take it away from you. Just
No, I
strategically.
get what you're saying.
What do you- all right. Do you just do it right outside the tent?
I'll make sure I'm a safe distance away.
Okay.
but I
Wait,
make-
let's climb back up the tower. Or the pillar.
And take.
Sorry.
That's dumb. No.
Alright, you want to carry a flaming spear all the way
Oh.
up the pillar, go ahead. But that's where the black
This I'm drinking
Luzgau
from
stone
the,
is, and we can test it right there.
I drink
if
from the
it-
chalice three times.
If it works like the stone in the cities, we can try it with someone else's sword. See if we can scratch or tip it. And we can...
Well, we know we can't.
Well, this stone
14
might not
hit points
behave
or
like the stone in the cities.
Does that put you at max?
We didn't test it when we were up there. I thought about it, but
No.
I forgot.
We didn't know how to activate the. We didn't know what.
Well, no, I wanted to just test it with a sword or something. To see if the stone itself was protected by the magic of the cities, or if the stone itself has its own properties.
I was at
I see what you're saying.
7 hit points. I'm gonna
And we
just
test the spear.
for experimentation. I'm just gonna keep drinking until I'm back to full. If that does anything.
Okay. You drink back to your full.
I just didn't know if it was like a number of drinks or something. Remember to tell Herbert.
If you drink more than 5 times, you explode.
I had
That's
like
the challenge.
18 or something like that at one point. So
That's the chalice.
He was feeling very uncomfortable
Yes.
at 18.
I was worried there that something might actually happen. Like he said,
Dave
stuff was
asked
squirming around
if
under my
we're talking about
skin.
the
And
chalice.
Like your muscles were spasming, like that energy stuck in your gut was trying to tug its way out.
I was waiting for like a slot tadpole to shoot out or something.
So is the chalice considered magical?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Herbert said it registered as it registered to his detect magic stud as the most powerful magic on Yaka.
Okay. Yeah, Karnan won't drink it.
Are you guys going up?
I would rather not.
I would rather not too, but
We
Uriel,
got lucky.
Uriel has a good point.
We do need to test it.
What? Oh, we need to know if we can damage a stone.
Put,
Banda walks around to the other. Like you guys are on one face of Stumpy. Banda walks around to another, tugs on a rope, and then a basket falls down.
I think we found who we're testing it on, guys.
Down was just like, what?
They were testing us.
I'm not going to climb up every time. That's
While
why I
we're
put
doing
this
that, I'm gonna
basket
fill
in.
the wineskin again and I'll wait to drink from it.
Come on, hop
All
in
right,
now.
well, let's go.
He just starts. All 5 of you hop in, and he just starts lifting you up. Maybe Turok helps him a little bit.
That's fantastic.
We would have seen it, right?
None of us asked.
None of us asked.
None of us asked.
I brought up the system, but they already had a system that they weren't telling.
They were testing us too.
Right. I mean, well, damn.
Personally, climbing this was more fun than sitting there. Oh, there's an elevator. Just
That's true.
So,
story-wise,
Yeah.
an hour passes.
I drink before the hour to see if anything.
Are you at max hit points?
Yeah.
If you drink before the hour, you gain 3 temporary hit points.
All right. So
Wait. How long do you wait to drink?
I wait before the hour's up. So what? Like
Precise number of minutes.
we'll say 55.
You don't gain temporary hit points. It's normal water.
Okay.
Well, damn. That's impressive.
Hey, I'm trying to get as much knowledge as we can from this healing artifact.
I'm glad you're the one testing it all.
All of his insides look like tumors now.
It's painful, but at this point, it's like he's becoming a sadist or a masochist. That's the one that enjoys self.
So you guys are up at the top. The basket stops. Do you step out?
Yes, I step
Okay.
out. You know, Donald didn't really take the time to do this earlier. He wants to like just take a second and look out.
It's beautiful. The landscape is completely barren, but it's a breathtaking view. The blue sky, the stark landscape of the desert, the rocky peaks of the Font of Shadows, the font itself barely visible, a huge architectural achievement. It's a breathtaking view.
That's cool. I'm glad I stopped to look. All right, now let's try this thing out.
Let's have you do the honors.
All right.
First,
so I guess
I
yeah,
take my
let's-
sword to see, is this stone unblemished, like completely?
The black stone planks.
Yeah.
They look precisely like the black stone of the cities, and they are completely unblemished.
I attempt to scratch it with my sword.
You dull the edge of your sword.
Well, I didn't try that hard.
I didn't try that hard. I just tried
I
a
was
little hard.
scraping a little bit.
It doesn't take much.
You find a derelict, rusty sword from a dead body, and nothing. Now, are you like holding this up and bleeding on it? Are you laying it on the iron?
Yes, I'm going to lay this flat on the ground. I'll flip out my obsidian karambit, slice my hand, and
Okay.
squeeze the blood over the blade.
How much blood are you bleeding?
Enough.
1d6 plus strength or dex hit points.
Yeah. An ounce?
Your blood sizzles as it hits the dull metal of the head, and a tremor passes through the head of the blade, but nothing else happens.
I squeeze my hand harder.
Same thing.
Tell
me how many hit points you bleed onto this thing, trying to wake it up.
I have a healed. Ten.
Okay. Your blood boils as it strikes the blade of bone and flame, and you hear a deafening clunk. All of you hear a deafening clunk that speaks of massive gears moving within ancient monoliths of stone. Then a band of metal slides away from the head to disappear to nowhere. There's light from inside the thing casing the head. Then another band slides away, another and another, and now they're coming just rapid fire. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
I pick it up as this is happening.
And it all comes away to reveal, well, something that looks a lot like that. It reveals a head like that. It's all jagged and clumsy looking and ugly. This edge over here is kind of a blue-white, the color of lightning. The middle and top section are a swirl of frozen oranges and reds and yellows. They're completely still, but they kind of, it all glows, shedding immensely bright light. The heat emanating from the blade is blistering.
I'm super excited about this.
Nothing about this weapon is elegant. You will have disadvantage on every attack you make with it in combat. Would you like to test it against the black plank of Lujgao Stone? Or perhaps the head of the Pillar of Iron?
Can we walk?
Yeah, I'm going to, first I test it against the black pillar.
Okay.
I just slowly lower it down.
Currently, the blade of Bone and Flame is shedding light it's shedding bright light in a 60-foot radius, and another 60 beyond that of dim light. Which you would know if it was dark. That will be important for reasons maybe you'll understand. You're going against the iron.
No, I'd like to go against the black.
The black stone. The light emanating from the blade dims to about 55 bright, 55 dim, and has no effect whatsoever on the black stone.
All right.
Try harder, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, I'll try to press harder into it.
The light dims to about 50 feet and 50 feet, no effect whatsoever on the black stone.
Put even more weight on it.
45s and 45, no effect.
I guess as much as I can. Do you want a strength check?
Sure.
15.
The light is now dimmed to 30 and 30, No effect on the black Lujgao stone.
Down the let's up. I don't think this is. Nope.
Tread on the iron.
And he kind of like, so there's iron underneath of us, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of like sets the spear down, not realizing that he's setting the tip
Like the head
down onto the iron.
The light dims to 25 feet of bright light, 25 feet of dim light, and without even pressing, it just sinks into the iron.
Donald kind of like falls down in that,
It's now 20 feet and 20 feet.
lifts it up, so it's getting duller.
Yeah, it's noticeably dimmer than when you first unleashed it.
Wait, does it stay that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when we're testing later, not here, but I want to try pouring stuff from the chalice on it.
Fair enough.
I should have brought that up here. Because if he says it's alive, or he thinks it's alive, if we were to dip the head into the chalice.
But you poured the chalice over you.
I
You had to
did, and
drink
I
it.
swallowed it, but it just swallowed the blood. Or did something with the blood. So
Boiled it.
we need to find out if that's something that this can do.
It's
we have a
fair.
heart of a god,
I'm gonna try to carve out
you know.
with the spear. I'm gonna carve out a foot cube if I can.
Okay.
Triangle, probably easier to, like a D4. Try to
Okay.
take scoops like a D4 out of the.
The light is dimmed to 15 and 15. It is the brightness emanating from the blade is now dimmer than a torch.
Okay.
But yes, you successfully cut out that chunk of iron.
Okay. I have
Does
like
the
a foot.
rest
I have a
I'll carry it for you.
of the top of this tower
Thank you.
look
Keep
like
cutting.
someone has done this
Domino.
before?
Keep cutting. What do you want me to keep cutting?
Just let it go out.
Do we have any metal on us? Probably not if we're at
It
the top of
probably
here.
just re-encloses itself and you have to bleed down again.
I mean, we've
What's
got
that?
buckles
Does anyone
and
have
stuff.
Does anyone have an empty dagger, like a shitty dagger? I gave all mine away.
I
We've
want to
got
see
shitty
if
daggers and the bodies
this
are on us.
clump of iron that he's removed still has the magnetic powers. That
Okay.
did.
Okay.
So we test that with something.
You find
like
a shitty knife in one of the corpses that's on top of here.
Okay.
It has no effect when pressed up against the cube of the triangle of iron.
Can I hold it to a buckle?
The block of iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it do
Okay.
anything? No effect? The heat removed the magnetism. What?
Give me that same shitty dagger, and I take the head of the spear and press it against the dagger.
The light dims to 10 feet and 10 feet.
Does the dagger melt?
What happens to the dagger?
It completely melts into liquid. A little bit of wet wood on the hilt, like instantly is erupts in flames. The leather wrapping the hilt.
So wet swords become torches. Got it.
Well,
With
okay.
really
So
short necks.
there's
The blade is the blade spear whatever is also noticeably lighter.
like as the light dims.
As the light has been dimming, it's been growing noticeably lighter.
Interesting. Anything else I should test it on? This thing's obviously gonna go out soon.
We should probably test adding more blood to it.
Or you could test something
I'll
that
give
like
you some hit points with healing word.
actually burns on it.
What's that?
Yeah, he said the wood on
The wood and
Dagger.
leather of the
It
dagger
ignited.
instantly erupted.
Somebody
into
touch it
flames.
with their hand.
I
Just kidding.
I
don't do
give
that.
him some hit points with healing word. Since
Okay.
he's attuning to it. So I don't know if you want me to roll that or re-roll that or
Oh,
You instantly die.
I meant for the table. I'm using a stud.
oh, you're using a. Oh my god, you don't have the chalice here. Why would you be using the chalice?
No, I have not pulled that thing out.
Uses a 9th level spell slot.
That is how many?
Hoopstang.
Can you pause the recording? I gotta go pee.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
Up here, I gave him some hit
So
points
yeah,
to
I'm
try.
gonna bleed another 10 hit points.
Okay. How bright was the blade?
20?
It was at
15?
It was at 10.
Less than a torch.
It was at 10.
So
The blade dims to 5 feet and 5 feet as it completely incinerates the blood that drips onto it.
Interesting.
We might as well figure out what happens next, right?
Did probably recharge in the sunlight.
I'm sure there's plenty of desecrated corpses up here, right? I stick it into a desecrated corpse.
The blade goes out. Completely.
What happens to the corpse?
Probably sizzles up.
The corpse is incinerated. The blade goes out completely, and the haft turns to ash and falls away from your hand.
The what turns to ash?
The haft turns to ash in his hand.
Did
And
we
falls
just
up.
use it up?
I did not expect that at all.
I think we might have used it up.
Fuck. Is the head still there?
No, it's gone.
Well, at least there's like 3 others, so.
Well, it didn't do anything to the stone.
We know that. There's nothing at all left of this.
Nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
Down to like, what did I just do? And like sifts through other ashes where it,
Do you want to collect the ash?
as best as I can, yeah, and
Okay.
put it into a pouch, I guess. Maybe it'll grow a baby Groot. Sorry.
We were gonna have to test it anyways.
Did anyone expect that?
I did not
No.
expect
Herbert's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, we didn't find it. Wasn't up there.
I can't wait to tell the old guy. Yeah, we used it up.
It sucked. It didn't do anything. It just turned to ash immediately.
We might want to go down
Does
and
12d6 radiant damage, if you were curious, on a hit.
It did. 12d6 radiant damage on a hit.
Not anymore.
Well, that would have been fun
Did
to roll.
not know that was gonna.
I hate you guys.
Is it actually used up, Clint?
Probably, but
That's
I
all
guess
we
we
have
can't
for you
really
tonight.
know,
We'll
but-
see you next time.
yeah, I think that's a good place to
Hey,
stop.
Chief, you don't happen to have another one of these laying around, do you?
I was under the impression that it was
Well,
something
we can go
like
talk to,
usable.
what was his name, Nemir?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's the thing.
Nemir?
I assume we
Nithimir?
would just recap when it
Nithimir?
Yeah.
When it went
yeah,
out,
so
it would just
yeah,
need more
we'll
blood.
go back to Nithimir. Like, so what happens when it turns to ash? How do you get it back?
I think we don't ask.
It doesn't turn to ash.
It definitely turns to ash.
Never turned to ash for me.
Did for us.
When it started to grow dim, I set it down and let her rest. And then she got bright again.
Like you told me to do.
Well, he didn't tell us to do it. He just said that's how.
I
it
can't
went
help
back
but
to sleep.
wonder where my fucking spear is.
I hold up the pouch. There's a very sad look on my face.
Are you in reaching distance?
I don't know.
Let's
Now, I'm not going to say the campaign can't be finished now. But don't use up another one, okay?
so is
I'm gonna
Kyle?
put this back together.
Kyle, take it easy on the
don't think
the
you
old
are.
chalice there.
so is the gentleman that has my chainmail still around?
Yes, you get your fucking chainmail back, Dave.
Thank you, Clint.
That's- So tonight's session, we literally accomplished nothing.
Yep.
We learned
Less
more
than
about
nothing.
the blades of.
Does the
bone and
chalice look like it's like taking any wear and tear from the
Hey, I didn't get that
gratuitous amounts of?
until now.
What's that?
Clint texted me. Do, period, not, period, let, period, the, period, blade, period, go, period, out, period.
How long ago did he text you that?
9 minutes ago.
Hey, how long
As
ago
we
you let
do
the
it,
light go out?
Probably about 9 minutes ago, if I had to guess.
No, I went up.
10 minutes ago.
I had a bathroom break because I wanted to text you, give you a chance to read it.
So he just got it.
You didn't
Can we
read
retcon that it's back to
No.
5 feet?
I'm gonna delete this recording session. I'm gonna go back.
Play the whole thing again.
it? But that's not how D&D works.
Nope, I'm willing to.
We saved right before we did it. We're gonna load
Save
that
state.
Yeah, that's a save state. Come on.
We
No,
just beat the boss.
that's not how that works.
Use the quick save.
Oh, we did that.
Just out of curiosity,
I had a bad feeling about
does
it.
putting the ash in with some wine in the chalice do anything?
I was thinking about that
You
too.
in that fucking chalice!
Yeah, but
I
I,
know,
was
but
actually
It
with
uses
him on
up
this
the
one.
chalice and we get the
I was
spear
thinking
back.
about putting these ashes in the chalice and seeing what happens.
It's me in the chalice, but you know
And
what?
The chalice collapses.
Fuck it. We gotta try something.
Fuck it.
That bone ash will soak that juice right up.
So
it's like
many good
drinking
things
it.
have happened after that statement in the past. Fuck it. That's the best statement ever.
What's
Nobody's
that?
ever died after that.
What's that?
No one's ever died after saying fuck it. Doesn't even matter now.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, that was a good
everyone
time
was
to
in
see the
agreement
sapphires
with me,
come
right?
out.
We were, yeah. We didn't. I didn't know it was beat.
That's not fair. I figured like the metal head would come
No, I
back
just
on
didn't
and then be like,
express.
okay, I can carry this back down now. Good to go. That's
No,
not what
I-
happened.
There was a little thing in my head thinking it. I didn't say it, so it's my fault as much.
I'm the one who actively did it.
We didn't. No one stopped you. So.
I actively told
No,
you
I
to do
did,
it
we
too.
did
I was
not
like,
stop
yeah.
you.
Everyone's like, yeah,
We
this is
could've-
a great idea.
We could have all seen it coming.